Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An April Fool's Day episode of Classic Radio Theater with episodes of the Mel Blanc Show, the Aldrich Family, Lucille Ball and Richard Denning in My Favorite Husband, and we'll have an episode of Life with Luigi and an episode of the Jack Benny Show, an excerpt of the episode from 91 years ago, April 1st, 1934. That's what's coming up here on this beautiful Tuesday. It is April Fool's Day, April 1st, the 91st day of the year, 274 days remaining until we get to the end of the year. And this is the birth date of two actors from Superman, an actress who had two different roles, and a Jimmy Olsen. This is the 1st of April. In 1826, Samuel Morley patented the internal combustion engine. The Wrigley Company, founded in Chicago on this date in 1891. And in 1924, Adolf Hitler sentenced to 5 years in jail for his participation in the beer hall push. However, he spent only 9 months in jail, during which he wrote the book Mein Kampf. The recently elected Nazis under Julius Streicher organized a one-day boycott of all Jewish-owned businesses in Germany on this date in 1933, ushering in the series of anti-Semitic acts that would become known as the Holocaust. In 1945, Operation Iceberg, U.S. troops landed on Okinawa in the last campaign of the war. In 1946, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake near the Aleutian Islands created a tsunami that struck the Hawaiian Islands, 159 killed, mostly in Hilo, Hawaii. Now, in 1948, military forces under direction of the Soviet-controlled government in East Germany set up a land blockade of West Berlin. In 1954, President Eisenhower authorized the creation of the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Yes, the Air Force theme. The Air Force Academy, founded on this date, just north of Colorado Springs, on this date in 1954. The soap opera General Hospital debuted on this date in 1963, and in 1967, the Department of Transportation began operations, and in 1970, President Nixon signed the Public Health Cigarette Smoking Act into law. It required Surgeon General's warnings on tobacco products. It also banned cigarette advertisements on television and radio, which is why you don't hear what you used to hear. I mean, all those, whatever you think of cigarettes, and I despise cigarettes, but some of the advertising was, especially in later years, when they stopped talking about the health benefits of smoking, which there were none. But when you hear about how wonderfully some of these things were crafted and created, some of them were really good advertisements. Apple Computer, formed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak on this date in 1976. It was on this date in 1979 President Carter visited the site of the 3 Mile Island nuclear facility disaster, and following a tour, spoke to reporters.
Primary and overriding concern for all of us is the health and the safety of the people of this entire area. As I've said before, if we make an error, all of us want to err on the side of extra precautions and extra safety.
Now, Carter said that radiation levels near the facility were quite safe, but he cautioned that officials there placed critical decisions on how to dissipate a radioactive gas bubble. By the way, Carter did attend nuclear power school in the Navy, but his father passed away and the former president resigned his commission prior to the completion of the training. So the mythology that President Carter was a nuclear scientist is false, though he probably had a better understanding than most when it came to nuclear power. In 1987, President Reagan spoke to members of the College of Physicians in Philadelphia about the threat of AIDS.
The Public Health Service has issued an information and education plan for the control of AIDS. The federal role must be to give educators accurate information about the disease. Now, how that information is used must be up to schools and parents, not government. But let's be honest with ourselves. AIDS information cannot be what some call value neutral. After all, when it comes to preventing AIDS, don't medicine and morality teach the same lessons?
The president spoke of a number of other issues plaguing medicine and medical costs, including the need for malpractice insurance and tort reforms, issues that still pervade medicine and the law to this day. In 2001, an EP-3E U.S. Navy plane collided with a Chinese People's Liberation Army fighter jet.
They were intercepted by two People's Republic of China fighter aircraft. There was contact between one of the Chinese aircraft and the EP-3, and that caused enough damage for the U.S. aircraft to issue a Mayday signal. And they diverted to the Hainan Island in PRC.
Now, the Navy crew made an emergency landing in Hainan People's Republic of China on this date in 2001 and was detained until a statement was delivered by the government regarding the incident. The exact phrasing of the document, intentionally ambiguous, it allowed both countries trying to save face while defusing a potential volatile situation between militarily strong regional states. And it was on this date in 2004, retired truck driver J.R. Triplett claimed a $239 million Mega Millions lottery prize. He told reporters about checking the numbers.
I said, "Sweetheart, we've got that number." And she kind of broke down and got down on her knees and said a little prayer, thank the Lord.
While Triplett said the prize was no big deal, he'd spend it wisely, his wife Peggy told reporters she was going to shop till she dropped. By the way, that $239 million today would be in 2003 would be $412 million today. And of course, knowing the way that those tickets are, that's based on the annuity payout. And so that $412 million would be more like... let's see, what would that be? Yeah, it'd be more like $103 million today. So there you go. Still, nothing to look down your nose at. Scott Joplin passing away on this date in 1917, known best for the Maple Leaf Rag and the song The Entertainer, featured prominently in the motion picture The Sting. Also passing away on this date, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? We lost Fibber McGee on this date. Jim Jordan passing away in 1988. John Forsythe passing away on this date as well. The man behind Hill Street Blues, Stephen Baccio. Also L.A. Law, Doogie Howser, M.D., NYPD Blue. And for all those successes, you have some that don't quite go so well, like Cop Rock. Cop Rock. Look it up. And SCTV's Joe Flaherty. All those folks passing away on this date in history. Let's look at birth dates today. And they include the composer Sergei Rachmaninoff, actor Lon Chaney Sr., Wallace Beery, born on this date, from WKRP, and also from the radio station, the television and radio stations I grew up with, WIBW in Topeka, Kansas. Gordon Jump was born on this date. The lovely Debbie Reynolds, born on this date, and Jane Powell from all those great MGM musicals, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Best known for her role in Love Story with Ryan O'Neal, but she was found first in Goodbye Columbus. She also was with Chris Christopherson in Convoy and The Getaway. She was in that movie as well. Ali MacGraw, 86 years old today. We talked about the actress that had Superman connections. How about the young lady who played Lana Lang in Superman 3 and Martha Kent on Smallville? Annette O'Toole, 73 today. Also, Jimmy Olsen in Superman Returns. Sam Huntington is 43. I watched this man's grandfather in the ring and then saw his father in the ring. And now he's wrestling. Yes, his grandfather, Bob Orton. His grandfather, his father, Bob Orton Jr., and all his work with Rowdy Roddy Piper and that cast from That Arm That Never Healed. Wonderful gimmick. And Randy Orton. I find it so hard to believe. He's 45 years old today. I remember him when he was young. And also from Saturday Night Live and Mad TV, Taron Killam is 43 today. Those just a few of the people celebrating April Fool's Day as their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Up next, an April Fool's Day edition of the Mel Blanc Show, going back 78 years to April 1st, 1947. That's up next here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
When buying your emergency food and water supply, choose foods that provide a well-balanced diet. For instance, canned soups, fruits, vegetables, fruit juices, packaged cereals, and dried foods are excellent for storing. Raisins and chocolate are good energy-building foods and take up little storage space. Avoid storing salty foods because they will only add to the problem of drinking water. Remember, in case of attack, your emergency food and water supply may have to last your family 2 weeks.
Jack Benny once said there were only 5 real people in Hollywood. The rest were Mel Blanc. And that was just, it was a funny line, but it was a tribute to the voice art that Mel Blanc brought to radio and television. And we're going to look at, listen to this episode of the Mel Blanc Show from April Fool's Day, 1947, 78 years ago today.
Colgate Tooth Powder presents The Mel Blanc Show, written by Mac Benoff with Mary Jane Croft, Joe Kearns, Hans Conried, Alan Reed, the Sportsman, Victor Miller and his orchestra, and starring the creator of the voice of Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
Yes, Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you The Mel Blanc Show with Mel playing his new character, Zookie.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hi.
And starring himself in person, Mel Blanc.
Hi, folks. Ugga, ugga, boo, ugga, boo, boo, ugga.
Well, here it is, the first day of April, All Fool's Day. All over the country, people of dignity drop their cloak of respectability and declare open season for silliness. And the people in Mel Blanc's little town are no exception, especially Mel Blanc himself. Anyway, let's sneak into his fix-it shop and listen. Shh, he's on the phone.
Is that you, Henry? I have a phone call for you from Dr. Rooster. Just a minute, I'll put him on. Oh, it was some joke on him. Yeah, now let's see who'll I call. I'll get another name out of the phone directory. Mrs. Raines, Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Roy. Mrs. Roy, that's a good one. Hello, Mrs. Roy? I want to speak to Mrs. Roy. This one is a dilly. Is that you, Mrs. Roy? Mrs. Roy, is Kill there?
What are you laughing at?
Oh, Betty, it's April Fool's Day, and I'm having fun on the telephone. Just watch this. Here's a Ritzy name in the phone book. Mrs. Uppington Van Sloan. Hello?
Hello?
Are you the lady that washes?
I beg your pardon.
I said, are you the lady that washes?
Of course not.
Oh, you dirty thing!
You better be careful now. One of your jokes is liable to backfire.
Oh, Betty, that's never happened to me, except once last year. Then I only spent 2 days in the hospital.
What happened?
Well, don't you remember last April Fool I disguised my voice? I woke up your father... I woke up your father at 4 a.m. and said on the phone, "You're a big fat jerk and a moron. Guess who this is?"
Yeah, well, how did you get in the hospital?
He guessed. Oh, I don't know. I can never pull a joke on your father.
Well, don't try it this year, Mel, especially since Father's beginning to like you so much.
I'm not so sure about that.
Oh, Mel, Father likes you very much. Last night when you were over the house, I heard him asking in the kitchen for a little bite.
Yeah, and his teeth marks are still on my arm. Let me see. Who else can I play a joke on?
Well, not with me around. I'll see you later. Bye.
Oh, Betty, your slipper showing.
Oh, where?
On your clothesline.
April!
Fool. Oh, now I'm alone. I can pull the biggest one of them all. And this year he won't catch me. I'm going to call Betty's father.
Hello?
London calling. Mr. Colby.
London? Yes, this is Mr. Colby.
This is Smythe Twombly, the lawyer, calling. Mr. Colby, it is my duty to inform you that your uncle, Sir Percival Colby, has just been buried.
Buried?
Had to. Dead, you know.
Well, but I haven't got an Uncle Percival.
And furthermore, he left you his entire fortune.
Oh, yes, dear Uncle Percy, yes. Oh. How much did he leave?
Well, it's a matter of £2 million, 30 guineas, 5 shillings, 2 pence, and a jacket. We'll mail you the check in a fortnight.
A fortnight?
In fact, we'll send the check airmail. It may take only 3 nights. Well, cheerio.
Oh, I'm rich.
What a terrific rib. Oh, gee. I forgot to say April Fool. Hey, what if he takes me seriously? Oh, no, he couldn't be that stupid.
Hello, Mel.
Well, Professor Potchnick, my favorite music teacher. Have I been having fun today?
Why all of a sudden today?
Well, don't you know it's April the 1st? All Fool's Day.
Oh, pardon me. Happy birthday, Mel.
Professor, don't you get it? April Fool is when you play jokes on people.
Oh, please, don't remind me. Last year I played a joke on my wife, Sonia. I made believe I was out of town. I called up the house and I said, "Hello, Sonia, this is Joe. Your husband's out of town. This is my chance. Joe needs you. Joe wants to come right over." Was I embarrassed?
Well, how come?
Joe answered the phone. So I divorced her and she married Joe. And this poor Joe got troubles.
Why?
Now when he's calling up, I'm answering the phone.
Say, are you going to get married again, Professor?
Yes, but with someone in my own profession. Here is an ad I'm putting in the Musical Digest. Male piano teacher wants to marry female piano teacher. Object, baby grand. Well, Mel, I got to be...
Oh, hello, Mel. Hello, Professor. Congratulate me. I'm a millionaire.
Oh, Mr. Colby.
Oh, here, Mel. Have a box of soap chips. Well, have 2 boxes.
Mr. Colby.
Well, don't stand there like that. This isn't just money. It's soap chips.
You came into a fortune?
Yes, £2 million. My uncle in England died. Well, I'm giving away my supermarket, and I'm going to build another one. I'll build the biggest in the world. In fact, it'll be so big, people will think it's a drugstore.
Mr. Colby, I think there's something you ought to know.
Oh, not now, Mel. I've given away half my supermarket, and I came down here to give you anything you want. Now, what do you need?
Mr. Colby, is it hard to get rope?
No, I'll give you just as much as you want.
I just want a little for my neck. Listen,
No time. Yippee, I'm a millionaire. Come on, Professor Botchnick.
Yippee!
Oh, I just happened to think, please, Professor. No. My uncle died.
Isn't that terrible?
Yes,
Tell me, are you giving away Russian caviar?
Yes. What kind? You want red or black?
Well, as long as you're in mourning, make it black.
Oh, what have I done? This is the worst fix I've ever gotten myself into. Mr. Colby finds out it's an April Fool joke. This fool won't see the end of April.
Use Colgate tooth powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night. It cleans your teeth, makes breath so sweet. Use Colgate tooth powder.
Want teeth that sparkle and dazzle, a breath that's fresh and sweet? Then try Colgate tooth powder, for the new all-purpose Colgate tooth powder cleans your teeth and sweetens your breath. Yes, this new all-purpose tooth powder produces an amazingly rich, active foam that's marvelously effective. Every time you brush your teeth with this new all-purpose Colgate tooth powder, your whole mouth feels clean, sweet, fresh. Your teeth regain their natural sparkle. It's been proved in 7 cases out of 10 that Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. And as for cleaning, you can depend on Colgate tooth powder revealing the natural brilliance of your teeth. Yes, Colgate tooth powder, the new all-purpose tooth powder, does everything you could expect or ask of a dentifrice. Try Colgate tooth powder today for teeth that sparkle and a breath that's sweet.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
And now, Victor Miller, the sportsman, and you can't see the sun when you're crying.
You can't see the sun when you're crying. A tear can't hide the brightest sky of blue. And you can't hear a song when you're sighing, no matter how the birds sing for you.
Suppose you made believe your eyes
were cloudy window panes. I'm sure you'd clean 'em up to look for rainbows when it rains. 'Cause you can't see the sun when you're crying. So smile and let the sun shine through. Oh, dry those tears, 'cause you can't see the sun when you're crying. You can't even hear a robin when you're sighing. Just supposing you made believe your eyes were cloudy window panes. You'd clean 'em up to see rainbows when it rains. 'Cause you can't see the sun when you're crying. So smile and let the sun, smile and let the sun shine through.
Well, back to Mel Blanc. Mel's innocent little April Fool joke has gotten him into plenty of trouble. He phoned Mr. Colby, pretending to be an English lawyer, and convinced Colby that his uncle had died and left him $1 million. The joke went so well that Mr. Colby is giving away his supermarket to everybody in town, expecting the money to arrive from England. While Mel is figuring out how to break the news to Mr. Colby, along comes more trouble in the person of the town Beau Brummel, Hartley Benson.
Hello, Hartley. What's new in your life?
Nothing. I'm still crazy about great big adorable me. In fact, Mel, I'm as fragrant as can be. I'm so sweet, perfume smells me.
Oh, will you cut that out, Hartley?
Well, Mel, old boy, it's the truth. Haven't you heard of the new perfume that's coming out?
No, what's the name of it?
Evening with Hartley Benson. It comes in 3 strengths: tender kiss, burning kiss, and oh, Hartley, you're straightening out my Gruen Curvex. I received the first test bottle of it just last week.
Well, how was it?
Well, I sprayed myself with half the bottle because I had a date with a gorgeous, glamorous blonde.
Well, what happened?
Nothing. I smelled so good that I stayed home and danced with myself. I tell you, Mel, I was the loveliest couple on the floor.
Look, Hartley, let me alone. I've got enough trouble.
In that case, I shall be off. I'm such a lovely thing, I'm giving myself an engagement ring. Goodbye, Mel. Nice seeing me.
What a character. Next time he does that, I'm going to throw him a fish. Gosh, Mr. Colby is still giving things away. There must be a way to stop him. The more he gives away, the more he'll kill me. Oh, here comes my lodge president, Mr. Cushing. Maybe he can help me.
Hello, Mel.
Greetings, mighty potentate. Ugga, ugga, boo, ugga, boo, boo, ugga. Well, mighty potentate, how's your dreamboat?
Mel, if you mean my wife, the word is tugboat. Matter of fact, she's a cross between a barge and a sloop. Sort of a bloop.
Oh, come now, mighty potentate. She doesn't look like that.
If she doesn't, Mel, why is it that every night when I go to sleep, I dream about Moby Dick the whale? You should hear that woman snore. Every once in a while, I get up yelling, "There she goes!" Mel, you should see her open her mouth when she snores. Jonah could walk in standing up. What a woman.
You sound pretty disgusted, mighty potentate.
Well, the other day I was cooking. I could hear my wife nagging, "Salt the potatoes, clean the lettuce, watch the biscuits." Then my wife came into the kitchen, she lit the burners, opened the door, and said, "Oh, John, put the turkey in the oven." Gad, what a temptation. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. It's just that I got no one to talk to.
Well, I'm glad I got you to talk to, mighty potentate. I played a joke on Mr. Colby, and now he's giving everything away in his supermarket.
He is. My wife's shopping there right now. Maybe somebody will take her.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me finish. The reason he's giving everything away is because I fooled him into thinking he had inherited a fortune. Now, how can I get out of it?
Well, let me think. You could commit suicide. No, I'm saving that for myself. I've got it. Well, why don't you disguise yourself as a lawyer? Tell him there was some mistake and he really didn't inherit that money. You understand?
I do.
Mel Blanc, what did you say?
I do.
Mel, never use those two horrible words in my presence. Well, I hope I helped you out. Well, I guess it's high time. I better be going now.
Yep, it's high time, and thanks for the idea. Say, where you going now, mighty potentate?
Well, Mel, I can do one or two things. I can go to the movies and see 2 years before the mask, or I can go home and look at 20 years behind the 8 ball. So long,
Well, at last I've got a way to get out of my troubles. I'll be an English lawyer, and I'll have Zuki tell Mr. Colby I'm coming over tonight. Oh, Zuki! Zuki!
And you actually saw the lawyer arriving in town, Zuki?
Yeah, Mr. Colby. He came in by aeroplane. He came in by automobile. He came in under a freight car.
Oh, that's a funny one.
I thought you.
Well, he's probably come with the money. Oh, here, have a smoke, Zuki. It's a quarter cigar.
Oh, gee, it's wonderful. It's Who smoked the other 3/4?
Oh, yes. I light it for you. There we are. Colby, a millionaire.
Gee. It's like a Corona. It's Havana Panatale. Smudge pot.
That's probably the lawyer now. I'll answer the door. Oh, good evening.
I am Smythe Twombly of Whistle and all that sort of rot. I'm looking for Mr. Colby and all that sort of rot.
Well, won't you come inside? I'm Mr. Colby.
Well, how are you, old bean?
Oh, tip-top, old man, and you?
Sen, old breath.
Sen. I always thought Englishmen said pip-pip.
Frankly, old boy, I've had a very tiresome journey. I'm too poop to pip.
Mr. Smythe Twombly, tell me, where in London does your firm have its office?
Number 10 Downing Street.
But Atlee lives there.
We're putting on new help all the time. Nice fellow, Clem.
Clem? Oh, then I suppose you know Winnie.
Who?
Winnie.
All right. Now about the money.
Oh, yes, the money. When do I get it?
Mr. Colby, there isn't any money.
What?
You don't get a red cent. I mean, you don't get a love and a farthing.
Why? It's Mel Blanc. Oh, I get it, Mel. Oh, it's an April Fool joke. You're trying to make me think I'm not getting the money, aren't you?
You're not. Mr. Colby, now don't get excited, but it was me who called you up in the first place.
What?
You're not getting a penny.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Come now, you're not trying.
Mel Blanc, I'm going to break every bone in your body.
Mr. Colby, please, I didn't mean it. Don't break my bones.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to take this gun and shoot you instead.
Shoot me? Oh, Mr. Colby, please. Break my bones.
Nope. I'm going to shoot you.
Oh, here, start on my arm. Go ahead, snap it in half. Enjoy yourself. Go ahead.
It's no use. I'm going to shoot you with this 45.
Mr. Colby, couldn't you wait until the 47s come out?
Nothing doing. Stand still, you idiot. I'm going to shoot you right in the brain. It'll take 20 or 30 shots, but I'll find it.
Oh, he did. Oh, gosh. I never thought I'd live to see the day when I'd die. I'm going now. My whole life is passing before me. What a disappointment I've been. Even when I was born, my parents wanted to hear the patter of little feet around the house. But I disappointed them. I walked on my hands. I remember how my mother used to count my toes. 8, 9, 10, 11. Then she counted the other foot. I tried to help the family by selling magazines on street corners. I sold Time magazine on one corner, and the pretty girl sold Life on the opposite corner. On windy days, I had the time of my life. I don't want to die.
April Fool! Come on, get up, you nincompoop.
Mel, you're not dying.
Then I'm not shot? I'm not dying?
No, Mel, old boy. Mr. Colby shot blank with a blank.
What? Were all you people listening outside?
That's right. Mel, you never fooled me. I knew it was an April Fool joke immediately. But I turned the tables on you. And now, gentlemen, thanks for helping me with my little joke. And if you don't mind, I'd like to have my soap chips and caviar back.
April Fool!
What do you mean?
Try and get it.
Gosh, Mel, how long do you think you'll be able to hide out in your fix-it shop?
Until your father calms down, Betty. Gosh, what a day this has been. Oh, somebody wants me to fix something. I'll answer the phone, Betty. Hello, Mel's Fix-It Shop. If it's on the blank, bring it to blank.
Is this Mel Blanc himself?
Yes?
Congratulations, Mr. Blanc. This is the Tub of Diamonds radio program. You've just won a 1947 packet and $10,000 in cash. Well, Mr. Blanc, what do you say to that?
Shut up.
morning and use it each night. It cleans your teeth, makes breath so sweet. Use Colgate tooth powder.
Fresh and lively and very pleasant to taste is Colgate tooth powder, the all-purpose tooth powder. As soon as the brush touches your teeth, Colgate tooth powder makes rich, active foam that cleans and freshens every corner of your mouth. Makes your breath sweeter. Yes, indeed. In 7 cases out of 10, it's been proved that Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. And oh, what a wonderful cleansing job Colgate tooth powder does. Leaves your teeth with that pearly, smooth feeling, reveals their natural brilliance. So for teeth that sparkle and a breath that's sweet, try Colgate tooth powder, the all-purpose tooth powder.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Say hello to Halo Shampoo for naturally bright and beautiful hair. Remember, even finest soaps and soap shampoos hide the natural luster of your hair with dulling soap film. But Halo Shampoo contains no soap, therefore leaves no dulling soap film. Even in hardest water, Halo makes oceans of rich, fragrant lather, quickly banishes loose dandruff and dirt. Halo needs no lemon or vinegar rinse. Say hello to Halo and goodbye to dulling soap film. Get Halo Shampoo at any cosmetic counter.
Remember, Mel Blanc at the same time every Tuesday night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The cast did a wonderful job considering the scripts were, it was a good show. And Mel Blanc, my goodness, there was nobody better. 78 years ago, April 1st, 1947, Mel Blanc here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, a family that came out of a Broadway show that wasn't that great. We'll tell you about the Aldrich family in just a moment. The creation of playwright Clifford Goldsmith, Henry Aldrich began on Broadway as a minor character in Goldsmith's play What a Life. Produced and directed by George Abbott, What a Life ran for 538 performances from April of 1938 to July of 1939. Broadway cast included Eddie Brackett, Betty Field, and Butterfly McQueen. The actor who brought Henry to life on stage, 20-year-old Ezra Stone, who was billed near the bottom as the 20th actor in the cast. Stone was also the play's production assistant. Time magazine found the play short on plot, but noted, chief amusement centers in Henry Aldrich, Ezra Stone, a cross between Penrod and Willie Baxter, who attends classes mainly in the principal's office. With a talent for head-on collisions, always ingenious, never crafty, always there with an answer, never with the right one, brash, bouncing, rumpled, rattled, rueful by turns, Henry grows into that rare thing on the stage, a person. Rudy Valley saw the play. He asked Goldsmith to adapt it into some sketches for his radio program. It was followed in 1938 by a 39-week run of a sketch comedy on The Kate Smith Show, with Stone continuing in the role of Henry. Smith's director Bob Welsh credited with the creation of the Henry Aldrich opening, which eventually became one of the most famous signature sounds in radio. Aldrich Family launched into its own series as a summer replacement for Jack Benny. We've played that show before in NBC's Sunday night lineup. July 2nd, 1939. It stayed there till October 1939 when it moved to Tuesday nights at 8, also sponsored by Jell-O, which had sponsoring Jack at this time, you know. The Aldriches ran in that slot from October 39 until May 1940. Moving to Thursdays from July 1940 until July 1944. Show then moved to CBS, running on Fridays from 1944 to 1946. Sponsors Grape Nuts and Jell-O before moving back to NBC in 1946 to 1951 on Thursdays, and then its final season on NBC that you have heard here many times before. It is a delightful show, and just happy to see something good coming out of something that wasn't the greatest. An episode now of the Aldrich Family and April Fool's Day jokes. Ezra Stone and Jackie Kelk, 77 years ago, April 1st, 1948.
The Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelk as Homer.
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother.
The month of April may bring its showers, but a little rain has never yet dampened the spirits of a teenage boy. And that's the reason it's fun to know a youngster like Henry Aldrich. For you can't stay down when a real American boy is bouncing around. Now the scene opens at the Aldrich breakfast table.
Oh, boy, Mother, oh, boy, wouldn't you say I'm lucky, Mother?
Yes, dear, but will you please eat your cereal?
Sure, but gee, out of all the girls in this town, I'm the one she's chosen.
Henry, may I have the cream, please?
The cream? Father, wouldn't you say I'm sitting pretty?
What's that?
Look at what I just got from Loretta. It's an invitation for dinner at her house tonight.
That's fine. Pass the cream.
Henry, you haven't even started your cereal.
Mother, I don't want to get this letter mussed up. Gee whiz, take a look at the stationery she used.
Yes, dear.
Father, would you like to take a look at it?
I would like to have you pass me the cream.
Gee whiz, haven't you? Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What's the matter?
I hadn't smelled it before.
Sam, where are you going?
I'm going to take a walk down here and get the cream.
Father, why don't you let me pass it to you?
You just sit there and keep on smelling that letter.
Now, Sam, don't tell him to smell when I've asked him to eat.
Hey, Henry, where are you?
Homer, where did you come from?
My house. Where do you think? Gee whiz, Henry, how'd you get that smudge on your face?
What smudge?
April Fool.
Listen, is this April Fool's Day? How did I let a thing like that happen?
Why, so it is.
Hi, Mr. Aldrich. Did you know you had a flat tire out in front?
That's fine.
Don't you believe me?
Homer, come here a second. Do you want to smell something?
No.
Go ahead, smell it.
Henry, you can't fool me with a thing like that. I know it's got pepper on it.
On this? Well, look, it's a letter from Loretta Darlington.
Yeah, April Fool.
You're crazy.
Henry, I'm sorry, but you will have to use one hand to eat with, regardless of how wonderful that letter is.
Yes, Mother. Homer, you know what surprised me more than anything?
What?
Well, for 3 weeks now, I've been trying to get up enough courage to ask her to go to the dance Saturday night. Yesterday I did. And what do you think she said?
What?
Henry, will you please pass the toast?
Yes. And then, Homer, right out of a clear sky, I get this.
Henry.
Henry, your father wants something. I'm going to answer the phone.
For me? What is it, Father?
Will you please pass Loretta? Never mind, just skip it.
Well, here, Homer, pass my father the sugar.
I don't want the sugar.
Do you want the cream, Mr. Aldrich?
I've had the cream.
Could it be the butter, Father?
It could not. I've forgotten what it is.
Henry, could I have that piece of toast there?
Sure.
Homer, give that to me.
Oh, sure, Mr. Aldrich, here.
Homer, you and Henry are both wanted on the telephone.
Yes, somebody wants us.
Both of us? Who was it?
All I know is it's the main office at the school, and Miss Shea wants to speak with one of you.
Miss Shea? Oh, boy, Homer.
Oh, boy.
Henry, hurry right back.
What could it be, do you suppose?
Well, frankly, it could be one of two things. Here, Henry, you take the receiver.
Homer, I can't. I've got my mouth full.
You have not. You haven't got a thing in it.
I have to.
Hello?
Hello, is this Henry Aldrich?
Well, no, not exactly. This is Homer Brown.
Oh, well, you'll do just as well.
I will.
Mr. Bradley has asked me to tell you that it won't be necessary for you and Henry Aldrich to report to any classes today.
Oh, you mean we're expelled?
What's that, Homer?
He wants you to help decorate the auditorium for the spring play.
Oh, boy, he does?
He does what, Homer?
He also wanted me to ask you whether you have all your homework finished.
Why, yes, I've got it right here in my pocket.
You have?
In fact, I've got it right here in my hand now.
You have? Well, you might just as well tear it up.
Tear it up? Okay.
What's that, Homer?
Look, Henry. Look at what Miss Shea says we can do.
Oh, my goodness, you didn't tear it, did you?
Now, listen, Agnes, is that you?
Oh, my goodness.
Agnes, do you realize what you've done to us?
Or was that Agnes?
Yes, and look at my homework. Oh, boy, that's a swell April Fool joke.
Homer, look at what I've done.
What's the matter?
When you began tearing, I began tearing, too. Look at Loretta's invitation to dinner tonight.
Gee whiz, you can still go, can't you?
Sure, naturally, but... Homer, we've got to get even with her.
That's what I say. I'm going to call her up and tell her I'm Mr. Bradley.
Homer, that won't be any good. I've got a better idea. I can see the whole thing just as clear as day.
Well, what is it? What is it?
You know all those contests Agnes is always entering?
Yeah.
She was when we get to school, we'll tell one of the fellas to tell her she won $100.
Sure, Henry, sure. Only let's make it 500.
Sure, and really spread it around.
Sure.
We'll tell everybody. Boy, we'll tell everybody in this school.
Have you heard? Have you heard about Agnes Lawson?
Really? You mean to say she won all that money?
Sure. Let's go ask her about it.
Hi, you heard about Agnes?
Yeah, and can you beat it? I sit next to her in English.
Hey, what's this I hear about Agnes? Did she really win a contest?
Sure she did. Look at her over in that crowd. Let's go tell her.
Agnes Lawson won all that money? You're crazy.
I am not. I know somebody that says she knows somebody that heard it on the radio last night.
Did you hear it?
No, but it's all over the school, though.
Hi, Homer, there she is over there.
Agnes. Oh, Agnes.
What do you want?
Oh, we want to tell you something.
Agnes, did you know you won $1,000 in a contest?
You're crazy.
You did, too. Ask anybody in school, Agnes.
You're crazy. I won $2,500.
You did?
You did?
Sure I did.
Imagine. Homer, what do you know about that?
I can hardly believe it.
Well, I did, Homer Brown, and don't try to make out it couldn't be possible.
I know, Agnes, but $2,500? That much never occurred to me.
Well, I did. And if you don't believe me, you can ask anybody here on the campus.
Oh, Agnes, we're not trying to make you out a liar, only what contest was it?
How should I know? I enter one every time I pick up a new magazine. Hello, Agnes. I came over to tell you how proud I am to know you.
Thanks.
Yes, Agnes, you're really smart.
You know what I think I'll do, fellas? I think I'll take the whole gang over to the soda fountain and treat them after school.
You will?
You really will? Sure. Homer, could you let me borrow $1 until I get my prize?
What's that? I'll tell you, Agnes, I've got to go or I'll be late to class.
Yes, same here. Goodbye, Agnes.
Agnes, are you sure the whole thing isn't an April Fool joke? Listen, don't you think I know one of those when I see one? Didn't I tell you what I did to Henry? No. I wrote him a note and asked him to come to Loretta Darlington's for dinner tonight. Really? Sure, I even signed Loretta's name to it. Boy, do I love April Fool jokes.
Do you have some more potatoes, Sam?
No, thank you, Alice.
Henry, can I give you anything?
No, thank you. I'll just sit here and watch you eat.
I'm sorry, dear, that we're having such a good dinner on the evening you're invited over to Loretta's.
Oh, that's all right, Mother. We'll probably have a swell dinner over there, too. Boy, did Homer and I play the darndest April Fool joke today.
Alice, may I have the biscuits, please?
Here you are.
It's the best April Fool joke I ever thought of.
Henry, are you quite sure you shouldn't be starting for Loretta's?
Mother, I've got loads of time. Look, here's part of her invitation right here. She says, we won't be eating tonight until 8:30. Be sure to come good and hungry.
Well, Henry, will you please answer that?
Stay where you are, Henry. I'll answer it. I'm expecting a call.
Mother, what are you and Father having for dessert?
Hello, this is Sam Aldrich speaking.
Mr. Aldrich, it's Mr. Lawson.
Who?
Agnes Lawson's father.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Say, Sam, I don't know whether you heard about it or not, but the Lawson family seems to have struck oil.
What's that?
You mean you haven't heard about it?
No, not a word.
Well, don't you listen to the radio?
No, not if I can help it.
Well, Sam, I don't know why we weren't listening last night ourselves, but we understand Agnes won the grand prize.
You don't say so.
Now, Sam, I want to ask your advice about something. Agnes says she's been reading the rules, and she's under the impression that the winner must appear in New York for the check.
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. Only Agnes can't possibly make a trip to New York by herself, and Mrs. Lawson and I can't get away. And what I was wondering was, could you go up and represent us with a power of attorney?
Why, when would I have to leave?
Tomorrow. We've sent a telegram for instructions, and I imagine they'll say they want us to come right on to New York.
Tomorrow, the only thing is...
We'd be glad to pay your expenses, Sam, and make it right with you in the bargain.
Why, you pay my expenses, and that's all I ask for. Any young lady that's smart enough to go out and win a contest deserves everything she can get out of it.
Mean you'll go?
I think I can arrange things. As a matter of fact, I'd like a trip to New York.
That's fine. Now I won't have to worry.
No, don't you worry about a thing.
Just one more thing before you hang up. If you don't mind keeping this confidential, because... we heard it was $2,500, and Agnes feels it's $35, and then we've heard from another source that it might be even more.
Oh, you don't say so.
And naturally, until we know just how we really do stand, we don't want to go around talking too much.
I see your point.
Goodbye.
Dear, your dinner's getting cold.
Come here, Alice. I've got something to tell her you won't believe.
Sam, what's the matter?
Mr. Lawson just phoned me.
Yes?
And it looks as though I'll have to leave for New York tomorrow.
On this short notice, Sam?
I can arrange it, I think.
Mother, don't you want me to tell you what I was going to?
No, Henry, not now.
But, Mother, it was the best April Fool joke you ever heard of.
Henry, will you please go back into the dining room while I finish telling your mother something?
But, Father, I'm not eating any dinner.
All right, go in there and look at mine. At any rate, get out of here.
Yes, Father, I'll go. Only I thought you'd like to know about that joke Homer and I played.
As though an April Fool's joke were important at a time like this. Alice, you won't believe it, but here's what happened.
Well, sir, I may have seen bigger steaks and juicier steaks, but I don't remember where.
And we can all thank Agnes for having it.
Thank you, Mother. Did you really use up all our ration coupons to get this dinner?
Yes, dear. Ed, you aren't cutting those slices a little bit thick, are you?
Gertrude, are you forgetting what has happened to the Lawson family? Why don't we have any bigger plates than these?
Oh, Ed, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going downtown tomorrow and buy a whole new dinner set.
Now, Gertrude, we don't need to spend any money on dishes. Besides, I've got that money all planned out for Agnes.
You have, Father?
First thing I'm going to do is see whether I can get a priority to get a new car.
For me?
Agnes, you aren't old enough to drive a car. You know you aren't. Here, pass the steak to your mother.
Ed, I don't care for any. I can't eat a thing.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Not a thing. Only if I can't get a new dinner set out of this, why...
All right, go ahead and get a dinner set.
And, Father, do you know what I want to get? First of all, a new evening dress.
A new what?
Without any shoulders. Boy.
Agnes, do you realize that I haven't finished telling your father what I'm going to do?
Well, folks, I've got that all attended to.
Ralph, you're interrupting your mother.
Oh, excuse me, but I just wanted to tell you I resigned my job.
You resigned, Ralph?
Sure, I gave up my job Saturday night at the Havens drugstore.
On my money?
Well, you're my sister, aren't you? I'm going to have somebody to go to the dance Saturday night.
How are you going to pay for the tickets?
Listen, Agnes, don't be so selfish.
Henry!
Yes, Father?
I thought you were coming down here so I could have a talk with you.
Just one more minute, Father.
What's the matter with the boy?
Sammy's upstairs changing his tie.
Again? That's the third time he's changed it this evening.
Dear, he's going over to Loretta Darlington's in just a few minutes.
Yes, Father. Is there something you wanted?
There is.
Henry, your father's just been talking with me, and he has a grand idea.
He has?
Yes, dear, and I'm going to let him tell you about it.
Yes, Father.
Henry, it's been a long time since you and I have done anything together, hasn't it?
Well, we had a milkshake together last week.
Yes, but... Henry, how would you like to make a trip to New York with me?
To New York, Father?
Yes, sir. You and I get on the train tomorrow and we'll go on a real binge for the weekend.
To New York?
To New York.
But how about my school tomorrow afternoon?
I can get you out of it, I think.
Oh, boy, and you're asking me whether I want to go?
I thought you'd like it.
Only, how about Loretta? I asked her to go to the dance Saturday night.
Well, I don't think she'd want to stand in the way of your going to New York, would she?
No, gee whiz. After all, she's having me for dinner tonight, so that won't make it as though I weren't going to see her at all.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Homer's on the phone.
He is? Father, will you excuse me while I speak to him, please? And thank you very much for telling me. Hello?
Hey, Henry, wait till you hear what happened to me.
To you, Homer? When do you hear about me?
But, Henry, I got a job at the Havens drugstore for Saturday night.
You did?
Sure, the guy that was working there just quit on a moment's notice.
But, Homer, wait till you hear what happened to me.
What?
Wait till I tell you. My father and I are going to New York.
You are?
Yeah, we're going on a blowout. Do you know how high the Empire State Building is?
Sure, 75 stories.
You're crazy, Homer. 75 stories? It's around 250. And I'm going all the way to the top.
Sure, Henry. I know a couple of guys that have been to the top.
But, Homer, did you ever eat in an automatic restaurant? All you do is put in a nickel and, boy, things come right out at you.
Henry, your father wants to speak to you.
He does, Mother. Homer, goodbye, and I'll send you postcards.
Okay, and I'll be back here drinking all the sodas I can hold.
So long.
Henry?
Yes, Father?
Henry, I've got to make the Pullman reservations right away. Are you quite sure it'll be all right for you to break your date with this Loretta, what's her name?
Sure, Father. She won't mind staying home. She's a very good sport.
You're quite sure?
Sure. Hello?
Number, please.
L991.
L991?
Yes, please. Gee, Father, did Homer turn green when I told him about New York City?
Yes?
Boy, poor kid back here in Centerville where there's...
Hello?
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 Hello, didn't you recognize my voice? This is Henry.
Oh, Henry Aldrich?
Yes. I'm sorry to bother you right this minute, Loretta, but my father just asked me to go up in the Empire State Building with him.
What's that?
We're going to New York.
Well, you are, Henry.
Yes, tomorrow, and I was just wondering whether it would be all right if I couldn't take you to the dance Saturday night.
Well, Henry, as a matter of fact, it works out fine because somebody just phoned me a few minutes ago and asked me to go with him.
Oh, somebody did?
Yes. A friend friend of mine who's just come into a lot of money.
Oh.
I hope you have a nice time in New York, Henry.
Well, thanks, Loretta, and I'll be over in just a couple of minutes.
What's that?
Boy, and am I starved. Goodbye.
Agnes Lawson has sent an April Fool letter to Henry, inviting him to dinner tonight at Loretta Darlington's. Henry and Homer, in order to keep April Fool's Day from being a total loss, have led Agnes to believe that she's the winner of a radio contest. The scene opens in Loretta Darlington's home. The time is around 9:15.
Well, Mrs. Darlington.
Yes, Henry?
Nothing.
I'm sorry Loretta isn't here right this minute, Henry. She said she was going to step out, and she told me where she was going. But I didn't pay any attention.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Darlington. That's all right. I'd just as soon sit here. If you have any work to do in the kitchen, you go right ahead with it.
You're not keeping me from one thing, Henry.
I'm not?
Won't you have another piece of candy?
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Just a moment while I take this next layer of paper out. I didn't realize we'd eaten practically half a box.
It's very good candy.
Is it your favorite kind?
Oh, I like any kind. And you don't have to worry. It never spoils my appetite.
Good. Tell me, did you have any April Fool jokes played on you today?
No, I got by this year with what you might call a clean slate.
My goodness. Did I tell you what Agnes did to Loretta?
No, ma'am. Mrs. Darlington, when Loretta went out, did she say about how long she'd be gone?
No, I don't think she did.
Well, where's Mr. Darlington? I haven't seen him since I got here.
He went to a lodge meeting.
Oh, he did? Is he having dinner there?
Oh, my, no, he grabbed a bite before he left.
Oh. Too bad he couldn't wait.
Well, as I started to tell you, Henry, Agnes Lawson has played more jokes today. Do you know what she did this morning?
What?
She didn't say one word to Loretta about it, but she wrote a note to Loretta's father and asked him whether she could have $1 and signed Loretta's name. And Mr. Darlington never knew the difference and gave Loretta $1.
He did?
Yes. And Agnes not only made her handwriting look exactly like Loretta's, but where she ever got Loretta's scented stationery, I never will know.
Oh. Oh! Agnes did that?
Yes. Wasn't that a good one?
Oh. Mrs. Darlington, would you tell me something frankly?
Yes.
About how many meals have you had here so far today?
Why, 3. Why do you ask?
Oh. Well, so Agnes did a thing like that to Loretta.
Mother!
Loretta, come in here.
Mother, whose hat is out there in the hall? Oh, hello, Henry.
Hello.
My goodness, I've been over to the Lawsons, and more things have happened to them.
What, for instance?
They're so rich, Mother, they're practically rolling in money. Mrs. Lawson put in a long-distance call all the way to San Francisco just to tell old Mrs. Lawson about it.
About what?
The $3,500 they won. Haven't you heard, Henry?
Loretta, Agnes didn't win any money.
Why, Henry, she did, too.
Gee whiz, she couldn't have. The whole thing was an April Fool joke.
Why, Henry, it couldn't have been.
But I'm telling you, Homer and I, we made the whole thing up.
If you ask me, Henry Aldrich, I don't like your attitude.
All right, I'll show you.
As a matter of fact, Henry, if you're going to contradict me like that, I'm glad I'm not going to the dance with you.
And as a matter of fact, I'm glad I'm going to San Francisco. I mean, New York. Goodbye.
Henry Aldrich, I think you're insane.
Just what do you mean by a statement like that?
Well, Mr. Lawson told me himself that your own father is going to New York to collect the money for Agnes.
My father?
Yes, your father.
That's why he's going?
Yes.
And Now listen, Loretta. Gee whiz. But Agnes, you didn't. You couldn't possibly have.
Henry, I suppose you think I don't know an April Fool's joke when I see one.
But I'm not kidding you. You didn't win it.
Wait a second, Henry. Let me explain it to her. Agnes, Henry, and I just made the whole thing up.
Why, Homer Brown. And I suppose you made up the fact that I entered that contest.
You may have entered it, but you didn't win it.
Now, Henry, for the last time, I'm not going to be April Fool's. You're just trying to get back at me for writing that letter to you from Loretta.
What letter, Henry?
Never mind, Homer. Let's just take one thing at a time. Now listen, Agnes.
I'm not going to listen to one thing you say of all the jealous people.
But Agnes!
Wait.
What's all this noise in here?
Oh, gee whiz, hello, Mr. Lawson.
That's the trouble.
Mr. Lawson, there's something we feel we ought to tell you.
Well?
Agnes thinks she won a lot of money, see?
Yes?
And she won't believe she didn't.
Well, why shouldn't she believe it?
But Mr. Lawson, I guess you didn't understand. This is April Fool's Day, see?
I know, but I don't think you boys ought to try to pull a joke like this one.
What's that?
Pretty serious thing, boys, when you deliberately tell somebody they didn't win a prize like $3,500 when it's common knowledge that they did.
But she couldn't have, and gee, my father...
I won't tell your father about this, Henry, but you better be running along. Agnes has had a pretty big day, and for that matter, this whole family has. We're in no mood for jokes.
You mean you don't believe us either?
You boys just forget it's April Fool's Day and go home and get your schoolwork done.
But Mr. Lawson...
Now, run along. Good night.
Gee whiz, that's a fine thing.
Henry, did we make this whole thing up? Or did Agnes really win that prize?
Listen, Homer, we've got to do something about this.
Hello? Mr. Lawson speaking.
Hello, this is the telegraph office.
Yes?
I got a telegram here for you.
Oh, yes. Is it from New York?
Well, it has New York written at the top. There's something about it I want to explain to you, but I think I'd better read it to you first.
All right.
It says, this is to inform you that Agnes Lawson did not win $3,500 because she couldn't have. You are the victim of an April Fool joke.
They say anything else?
No, that's all.
Oh.
But I think I ought to tell you, Mr. Lawson, that telegram didn't really come over the wires. Henry Aldrich and Homer Brown dropped in here a few minutes ago and told me to phone it to you.
Oh, you don't say so. Henry Aldrich and Homer Brown, eh?
Henry, do you realize what a serious thing this is that you and Homer have done? Sending a telegram that wasn't even real.
But, Father,
Don't you boys like Agnes? I always supposed she was a pretty nice girl.
She is, Mr. Aldrich, but she hasn't any sense of humor.
That's the point. You think a thing like this is funny.
No, Father, not anymore, we don't.
Do you think any family in their right mind would go ahead and make all the plans they have if they hadn't won the money? I've a good mind not to take you to New York.
But, Father, that's the point. Don't you understand?
Henry, for the last time, let's not fool about this anymore. I've changed our plans, and we're going tonight. My bag is right here, and it's all packed.
But, Father...
If you want to go with me, you have 10 minutes in which to pack your things.
You mean you're going now?
I ought to be on the way to the station right this minute.
But, Father, you can't take that train. Even if you cut off my allowance for the next 6 months, you've got to listen to me. Will you have another hamburger, Homer?
Thanks. I don't mind if I do.
Boy, am I hungry. Could I have the catsup, please?
Here.
These hamburgers are the best I ever ate in my life, Henry.
I'm glad you like them, Agnes. Would you like to have me put another nickel in the jukebox?
Yes, that'd be swell.
Agnes, is your brother Ralph going back to work in the Havens drugstore this Saturday night, or is he going to wait a week?
No, he's going right back. Boy, is he mad at me.
Why is he mad at you?
I don't know. Nobody in my family's speaking to me.
That's the way it is in my family.
Well, as a matter of fact.
And you know, maybe it's just as well I didn't get it.
Didn't get what?
My evening dress without shoulders. I guess I'm just not the type.
Boy, has this been a day.
I'll say it has.
Same here.
Henry, you spilled some ketchup on your tie.
Oh, gee, was where?
April Fool!
Now listen, Agnes.
It's 12 o'clock, Henry, and you can't get back at me.
Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with your favorite youngster, his family, and his pals. The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, is written by Clifford Goldsmith.
Oh, my goodness, the Aldrich Family. Going back 77 years, April 1st, 1948. And if you're wondering about the incongruency in there, talking about ration points, we were still rationing lots of food because of the problems overseas. And we were sending lots of American food to Europe in the wake of the end of the war. April 1st, 1948, the Aldrich Family here on Classic Radio Theater. with Wyatt Cox. We'll have more comedy tomorrow. We will have episodes of Fibber, McGee, and Molly from 1946, The Great Gildersleeve with Willard Waterman from 1952, The Charlie McCarthy Show from 1944 with guest Orson Welles, George and Gracie from 1945, and Lum and Abner. That's all coming up here on our Wednesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And we're having up next Lucille Ball, Richard Denning, My Favorite Husband. That follows in a moment.
Power failure, doing without gas or electric service, is something we've all experienced at one time or another. But in time of disaster due to natural causes or enemy attack, we might have to do without such service for a long time. With refrigerated foods, this can be serious. If power is out for more than 12 hours, eat or cook the most perishable items in your refrigerator before they spoil. If you can't cook them, throw them out. Persons who own freezers should consult their service books. Remember, when power fails, keep your refrigerators and freezers closed.
Now to the predecessor of I Love Lucy, because a lot of the writers and producers went from the radio show My Favorite Husband to I Love Lucy with Lucille Ball. This episode 76 years ago, April 1st, 1949.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball.
Jello, everybody.
Yes, it's the new Gay Families series starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning. Brought to you by the Jello family of desserts.
J-E-L-L. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jello family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jello family. That's Jello.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jello puddings.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jello tapioca puddings. Yes, sirree.
And now Lucille Ball with Richard Denning as Liz and George Cooper. Two people who live together and like it. As we look in on the Coopers tonight, George hasn't returned home from work, and Liz is in the kitchen talking to Katie, the maid.
Do you know what day this is, Katie?
Yes, Mrs. Cooper, it's Friday.
Yes, but it's also April Fool's Day, and I just thought I'd warn you that I put an exploding cigarette in that package in the living room.
Well, why warn me? Do you think I snitch cigarettes out of your living room?
Oh, why, no, Katie, but I noticed that you're smoking, and I just didn't want
I might not make much here, Mrs. Cooper, but I can still buy my own cigarettes. I don't stoop to petty things like stealing them.
I'm sorry, Katie. It's just that you have a cigarette in your mouth, and I wanted to be sure you didn't get the exploding one.
I accept your apology. Well, never mind the laughing, Mrs. Cooper. Help me find my upper plate.
Oh, there's one joke gone bluey. Well, this trick won't miss.
Well, what are you doing, Mrs. Cooper? Kissing the handkerchief?
Yeah, I want to smear it all up good with lipstick and slip it in George's pocket.
I don't get it.
Don't you see? I'll make some excuse and get him to take out his handkerchief, and then I'll just step back and let him try to explain the lipstick on it.
Oh, Mrs. Cooper, that's an awful thing to do to anybody.
Yeah, it's a dirty, sneaky thing to do, and I'm glad I thought of it.
But how are you going to plant it on him?
You're going to help me. Now, when he comes in, I'll stop him in the hall, and you reach out through the kitchen door and put the handkerchief in his overcoat pocket.
Oh, I feel like one of those, what do they call pickpockets? A regular drip.
That's dip. Now get ready, Katie. He'll be home any minute. Here's the handkerchief.
Here you are, Mr. Anderson. A chocolate malt. Oh, hi, Mr. Cooper.
Hello, Felix. How's the drugstore business tonight?
Oh, business is fine, Mr. Cooper. Everybody's sick. What can I do for you?
Well, I want to play an April Fool joke on my wife, and I was wondering if you sell any of those novelty gags?
Like a glass of dribbles, or itching powder, or candy with soap in it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We don't have any.
Oh, that's too bad.
Hey, why don't you try Miller's? They got some swell-loaded cigars.
Well, that'd be fine, Felix, but Liz gave up cigars for Lent.
Oh. Well, you might try the trick I played on my fiancée, Imogene. We're engaged.
I gathered that.
Yeah. Anyway, I told her I'd lost my job and didn't have any money. Just as a joke.
Did she fall for it?
Yeah, I think so. She gave me my ring back.
Hey, you know, that's a good idea, Felix. I'll tell Liz I lost my job at the bank.
Yeah. Do you think she'll give you your ring back?
No, that's too much to hope for. But it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, here comes George now, Katie. Don't forget that handkerchief. That you, George?
Yes, dear. It's me. I'm home.
Why, George, what's the matter? You look sick. Are you ill?
No, Liz.
You got hit by a car.
No, honey.
You were robbed.
No, darling.
You've been poisoned?
No,
Well, don't just stand there like a lump of putty. Tell me what happened.
Liz, I lost my job.
Oh, is that all?
Is that all?
Oh, George, what's a job as long as it isn't your health? If you'd broken your leg or something, it would be... You lost your job! Oh, why couldn't you just have broken your leg? How did it happen?
They fired me, Liz. I've foreclosed my last widow. They're already scraping my name off the door.
I can't believe it.
Yes, when I left, it was already down to George Coop.
But, George, you've been with the bank 10 years.
I know. Everybody felt terrible about it. There wasn't a dry eye in the place.
Well, I should hope not.
It even caused a run on the bank.
It did?
Yes, they were all crying so hard people thought the bank had failed.
But why, George? Why did they fire you?
Well, the bank examiner discovered I'd done something wrong.
George, you don't mean that you...
Yes, Liz, I put new points in the bank pens.
April Fool!
You mean you didn't lose your job?
Oh, of course not. Boy, did you fall for that.
George Cooper, that was a dirty trick.
Well, you're not mad, are you, Liz? I sort of half expected you to play an April Fool's trick on me.
Me? I wouldn't stoop to such a low trick.
Mrs. Cooper, can I see you a minute?
I'll be right there, Katie. George, give me your handkerchief a minute, will you?
Well, wait till I take my overcoat off.
No, don't take your coat off yet.
Well, why not? It's warm in here.
Oh, well, then, why don't you take out your handkerchief and mop your brow?
Liz, do you feel well?
I feel fine. Matter of fact, I feel like playing a game.
What game?
Drop the handkerchief.
I think you've blown your top, Liz.
George, kiss me.
Yeah, do you mind if I take my coat off first?
No, kiss me right now.
Liz, if you're driving at something, I want to... Now I've got to take my coat off.
Oh, look, I got lipstick on you. Give me your handkerchief, darling.
Oh, never mind. I'll take it off with a Kleenex.
Oh, give me your handkerchief. There's one sticking out of your coat pocket.
Well, that's funny. I never carry a handkerchief there.
Let's have it.
I don't know how this got in my... Oh, that's not a handkerchief.
Let me see it.
It's not a handkerchief.
What is it?
My shirt tail. I have a hole in my pocket.
If it's your shirt tail, how can you hold it behind your back like that?
It isn't easy.
Let me see that, George. Why, it is a handkerchief. And it's got lipstick on it.
No, it hasn't, Liz. Honest, that's not lipstick.
Then what is it?
Well, the truth is I had a nosebleed today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's it. I had a nosebleed.
Your blood type seems to be tan G.
Well, Liz, I might as well tell you the truth.
Don't strain yourself.
Mrs. Cooper, come here a minute, will you?
Just a minute, Katie. Well, George, have you thought of a good truth yet?
Yes. I mean, this is the way it happened. You know Miss Johnson, that homely, old maid secretary down at the bank.
Yes.
Well, I accidentally bumped into her, and some of her lipstick got on my cheek.
She doesn't even come up to your shoulder. What was she doing, walking on stilts?
Well, no.
You don't really expect me to believe that, do you?
All right. I'll tell you the truth. I haven't the slightest idea where that lipstick came from. You think what you want to. I don't care to discuss it anymore. What are you laughing at?
April Fool!
What are you talking about?
That's my lipstick. I put some of it on your handkerchief and I planted it on you.
Well, you didn't fool me. I knew it all the time.
Oh, sure. Oh, George, you were so funny.
Now we're even.
Oh, husbands are so silly. They have such guilty consciences. Don't you know I'd trust you, George, no matter how bad things looked?
Oh, thank you, darling.
Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, I forgot. Coming, Katie. I'll be right back, darling. What do you want, Katie?
It's about your April Fool joke, Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, it worked beautifully. You should have seen George's face.
You mean you've already done it?
Yes, why?
Well, how could you? I didn't put the
Katie! What are you trying to tell me?
Well, he didn't stand close enough to the door. I couldn't slip the handkerchief in his pocket.
Oh, no, Katie.
I've still got it. Here it is.
What are you doing, honey? Come on into the living room and talk to me, baby.
Don't baby me, you monster. All right, George. How did the lipstick get on that other handkerchief?
I don't know. I thought you said you trusted me, Liz.
I did, and look what happened.
I thought it was a scream when I had one handkerchief with lipstick on it. Two of them ought to give you a real laugh.
You should be ashamed of yourself, George Cooper.
Look, Liz, I've been framed. Ha! Liz, outside of this house, I don't know what a kiss is.
Scientists don't know what electricity is either, but they know how to use it.
Oh, stop it. I thought you were the one who wasn't jealous.
I'm not. I merely have a healthy curiosity.
Well, for the last time, I don't know where that lipstick came from.
Ha!
Now, look, Liz, I'm getting fed up. Do you believe me or not?
All right, George.
All right.
I believe you.
And that's the last time we'll hear of it.
Yes, George.
Good. Now, let's go to bed.
All right. George?
What?
Who was she? George, wake up.
What's the matter?
Was it the blonde cashier at the bank?
Oh, Liz, this is the third time you've waked me up. Now cut it out.
Was it Anita Aaron, Elaine Abbott, Dora Allberg, the A1 Cleaning Company? No, couldn't be them.
Where are you getting those names?
Out of the phone book. I'm going to find out who it was if I have to go through the whole book.
Oh, go to sleep.
All right, Cooper, start talking.
What are you doing, Liz? Don't shine that bright light in my face.
This is the third degree. Now start talking. Who was it?
Now stop it, Liz. You've been pestering me all night. Now, will you please let me get some sleep?
Well, all right, George. I won't ask you any more tonight.
Thank you. Good night. Oh, no, that isn't the alarm, is it?
Yes, and now that it's morning, George, who was it?
Well, seems like everything happens to the Coopers, and that's not just cricket, is it? But say, here's something swell that can happen to your family. You can start right now treating them to delicious Jell-O puddings. Jell-O chocolate, butterscotch, and vanilla pudding. Boy, take it from me, there's something. cream, rich and distinctive, smooth as cream, chock full of old-fashioned homemade goodness. Try luscious Jell-O chocolate pudding in this tempting chocolate roll. Just prepare your pudding as directed on the package, reducing the milk to 1 3/4 cups. Cool, spread on a sheet of sponge cake, and roll it up like a jelly roll. It's a grand and glorious dessert treat. Jell-O puddings are so quick and easy to prepare. All you do is add milk, and they take about 5 minutes to cook. Get all 3 Jell-O puddings tomorrow, and find out why more women buy Jell-O puddings than any other prepared puddings in the world. J-E-L-L-O.
Hey, George. George, wake up.
I tell you, I don't know where the lipstick came from.
What are you talking about, George? You went to sleep right at your desk.
Huh? Oh, hi, Joe. I didn't get any sleep last night. Liz found a handkerchief in my pocket with lipstick on it.
Oh, George, you sly devil, you.
I have no idea where it came from.
Hey, George, this is Joe, not Liz.
I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, it's a shame.
Shame?
Yeah. As long as you got arrested, it's too bad you didn't get to enjoy the crime.
Very funny.
Oh, don't worry, George. Uncle Joe's got a great idea. I'll call Liz and tell her I planted the handkerchief on you for an April Fool's joke.
Hey, now you're talking sense.
And it's all settled. I'll call right after you get home tonight, and the minute she hangs up, she'll fall into your arms.
Good.
Oh, say, I almost forgot what I came in here for. Atterbury wants to see you in his office.
Yeah, all right. Don't forget to call tonight.
I won't.
Did you send for me, Mr. Atterbury?
Yes. Come in, George, boy. I understand you had a little trouble at home last night.
Well, yes, but how'd you hear about it?
Well, things get around. Oh, you devil, you.
Oh, not you, too. I have no idea who put that lipstick on my handkerchief.
Of course not. Who was she, boy?
Listen, I said I don't know. But if I find the moron who put that handkerchief in my pocket, I'll punch him right in the nose.
Oh, I don't think you would.
Not much I wouldn't.
Well, here's my nose. Start punching.
Are you the moron? I mean, did you do it?
April Fool! Oh, it worked better than I thought.
Well, I should say it did. Liz is furious with me.
No.
Well, she kept me up all night quizzing me. Well, frankly, Mr. Atterbury, I don't think it was funny. If you want to see me on business, I'll be in my office.
Oh,
goodbye.
Don't go away, mad boy. Oh, that poor guy. Ought to do something to straighten it out for him.
Mrs. Cooper, you can't stay out here in the kitchen all night.
I'm very happy reading this book. I don't care to sit in the same room with you-know-who until he explains how that you-know-what got into his you-know-where.
You mean you're going to stay here until what's-his-name explains about whatchamacallit?
Yes. And don't worry about me. I'm not the least bit upset. And I'm enjoying this book.
Do you always hold the book upside down when you read it?
What? Oh, well, I wish I did know where that hanky came from. I'll get it. Hello.
Hello, Liz. This is Joe Ridgely.
Oh, hello, Joe. Do you want to speak to George?
Hey, well, gosh, I don't know if I dare. I hope I haven't caused him any trouble.
What do you mean?
Well, yesterday was April Fool's, and I put a handkerchief in his pocket with a lot of lipstick on it.
You did?
Yeah. And then I forgot to go ahead with the trick, and he went home before I remembered. You weren't mad, were you?
Me? Mad? Oh, Joe.
Well, some women would have blown their tops.
Joe, what kind of a wife do you think I am? I did see it, and George said he didn't know where it came from, and that was the end of it.
Yeah?
Sure.
Well, I just thought I'd call in case anything went wrong.
Well, thanks for calling, Joe. George?
Yes, Liz?
That was Joe Ridgely on the phone.
Oh, now do you believe I didn't know where that handkerchief came from?
How did you know what he told me?
I was listening to your end of the conversation, and I put two and two together.
Oh. Well, George, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right, Liz. I understand.
I guess I was just a mean, jealous, nagging wife.
Yes, you were.
Well, you don't have to agree with me.
Oh, now, honey, now, don't start crying.
Do you forgive me?
Well, I guess so.
Kiss me, George. I promise never to be jealous again. Scout's honor.
Honey, you just don't appreciate me. I'm as trustworthy and loyal as an old dog.
George.
What?
Let me sit on your lap, dog. Oh, darn it, I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, is that you, Liz, girl?
Oh, hello, Mr. Atterbury. How are you?
Fine, girl, fine. But I have some explaining to do to you.
To me?
Yes. It's about a little April Fool joke I played on George.
Oh, you too. I just heard about another one that was played on him. What did you do?
I slipped a handkerchief with lipstick on it in George's pocket. Liz? Are you there?
I'm here, all right. Didn't you notice anything unusual when you put the handkerchief in George's pocket?
Like what?
Like finding you were shaking hands with Joe Ridgely?
I don't know what you mean. I just wanted to be sure you understood, Liz.
Oh, I understand perfectly.
Oh, then everything's all right.
Everything is just ginger peachy.
Good. Well, goodbye, girl.
Goodbye, boy.
What was it, Liz?
You're back in the doghouse, Rover.
What's the matter?
Another entry has just come in the George Cooper Alibi Derby.
What?
Joe Ridgely said he put the handkerchief in your pocket. Now Mr. Atterbury comes up with the same story. Which story do you want me to believe?
What now, Liz?
Which friend has the phony?
Liz, I can explain. Mr. Atterbury was telling the truth, and Joe was just doing me a favor. You're being jealous again.
You're darn right I am.
Well, what about that Scout's honor?
Shake hands with an ex-brownie.
Liz, I've told you the truth. If you don't believe me, I'll treat you like the child that you are and put you over my knee.
You wouldn't dare.
Oh, wouldn't I? Come on,
Put
over
me
my
down.
knee.
I won't let you. Oh.
Well, you're just crying because I hurt your pride.
And that isn't all. Gee, that hurt. I never got spanked that much when I was little.
Well, when you were little, there wasn't that much to spank.
First you smooch other women, then you beat me, and now you say I'm a big fat cow.
I said you were a big fat cow.
See, you admit it. Well, George, if that's the way you're going to act, there isn't room for both of us under this roof. I'm leaving. George, I said I'm leaving.
Goodbye.
Now, don't you try and stop me.
Who's stopping you?
I'm going to leave right now. Well, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I really am leaving.
Goodbye.
For the last time, I'm leaving.
I said goodbye.
Goodbye. Next time, I'm going out the door.
Go ahead.
Oh, you heartless beast. Just for that, I'm leaving. Goodbye. Go ahead. Give me another one. And this time, make it a double. I'm going to drown my sorrows.
But, Mrs. Cooper, that's your third lemon Coke.
I know, Felix. I don't care what happens to me. Felix, men are beasts.
Yeah, I guess we are.
And George Cooper's the biggest beast of all.
Well, I always thought he was a great guy.
To you, yes. But to me, he's cruel and nasty.
Gee whiz.
And I've left him forever.
Gee whiz.
Do you know what he did, Felix? He beat me.
Gee whiz.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Liz, there you are. Gee whiz, I've been looking all over for you.
Don't speak to her, you cad.
What? Liz, I didn't think you were serious about leaving. Come on home.
Felix, will you tell Mr. Cooper I'm not speaking to him?
She's not speaking to you.
Oh, look, Liz.
Through me, please.
Well, tell her I apologize, and I'd like her to come home with me.
He apologizes, and he'd like you to come home with him.
I'm not going home to a wife beater.
She's not going home to a wife beater.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Tell Mr. Cooper he's wasting his time.
You're wasting your time.
I am not.
He is not.
I refuse to continue this exchange of banalities, and I will consider it a favor if he will remove his person from this vicinity.
I refuse to... You care for a malt, Mr. Cooper?
Now, Liz, cut out this nonsense.
Now, Liz, cut out this nonsense.
You keep out of this, Felix.
You keep out of this, Felix. Oh.
Tell Mr. Cooper that I...
Why, George Cooper, how are you?
Hello, Charlie.
Say, I'm glad I ran into you. I've got your overcoat.
What?
Yeah, I picked it up by mistake at lunch yesterday. You must have mine. Here's yours.
Oh, thanks.
Let me see that. Oh, George, it is your coat.
I hope you didn't look in the pockets of my coat. I had a heavy date the night before.
George, if this is true, what about those other stories, Mr. Atterbury's and Ridgely's?
Oh, they were just friends trying to help me out.
Oh, George, I'm awfully sorry.
Well, you should be. I'll bring your coat down to the bank tomorrow, Charlie.
All right, George. Oh, give me a Coke, son.
George, will you take me with you, please?
Well, all right.
Oh, thanks, George. You're so wonderful.
Gee whiz. I'm sure glad they made up. They're swell people, aren't they?
I don't know. I never saw him before.
Yeah. How come you had his coat?
Search me. He stopped me on the street outside, handed me the coat, gave me $10 to come in and say that.
Yes, Lucille.
Well, so long, Robert. I'm off on another session of making the most out of radio.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to see the world, find out what's going on. Let's see now. Alaska, the Bering Straits, the land of the midnight sun. Sounds like fun. That's it. Mr. Soundman, on to the Arctic Ocean. I said on to it, not into it. What's the matter? Couldn't you get your bearings straight? Well, Alaska looks pretty good.
Bum, 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 bee-boo.
Well, here comes a great big white bear, and it's singing. Pardon me, what kind of a bear are you?
I'm a polar.
I had to pick up an Alaskan cornball. Say, how come you can talk, bear boy?
Well, if I couldn't, how could I say the Jell-O puddings are a trio of treats?
Well, you know, you have a very important point there. What else is brewing along the same line? Brewing, get it?
Well, Jell-O chocolate pudding is luscious with deep-down chocolatey goodness.
Well, I'll bear you out on that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I won't say another word.
Jell-O butterscotch pudding has that buttery brown sugar flavor. Jell-O vanilla pudding is rich and smooth as cream. Jell-O puddings are so easy to make, too. All you do is add milk, and they take only about 5 minutes to cook to a velvety rich perfection.
Thank you. You have just heard a program from Alaska where the nights are 6 months long. Tune in again tomorrow night at 5:30 November and hear our little comedy of Eskimo family life, The Icebergs. Good night, all.
You have been listening to My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning, and based on characters created by Isabel Scott Rory. Lucille Ball will soon be seen in the Columbia picture Miss Grant Takes Richmond. Be sure to listen to Lucille Ball and My Favorite Husband again next week, presented by
Jell. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O tapioca puddings. Yes, sirree.
Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Oh, those jokes always backfire, don't they? 76 years ago, April 1st, 1949, Lucille Ball, Richard Denning, My Favorite Husband, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Do you know what does not backfire on you? Visiting classicradio.stream. We put some show notes there as well. We've got the show notes from all of the civil defense stuff you've got there as well. If you don't see it in the show notes of the podcast, you can read it at classicradio.stream. You can support the show by making a purchase there, or you can also buy me a coffee. That's at classicradio.stream. Up next, Life with Luigi.
Modern warfare is no respecter of people or places. Today, farms are right on the front line with the cities. Many of the same emergency items that will help take care of your family will also keep your farm producing. Stored fuels for farm equipment, emergency power, spare parts for farm machinery. Arrange for extra storage space for grains, eggs, dairy products, and other perishables. Everything you can produce will be needed. The nation's survival under attack will depend on how well you prepare now.
One of the sweetest shows ever. It got a lot of heat from the Italian-American community. Just like Amos and Andy got a lot of heat from the African-American community because they felt it was race humor and they felt it was inappropriate. Well, let's enjoy this episode of Life with Luigi. It's also a April Fool's Day show. And get this, Alan Reed dealing with this as well with J. Carrol Naish, 73 years ago, April 1st, 1952.
The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to enjoy Life with Luigi, a comedy show created by Cy Howard, directed by Mac Benoff, and starring that celebrated actor, Mr. J. Carrol Naish, with Alan Reed as Pasquale. Friends, the makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum are glad to bring you Life with Luigi because they feel it's a friendly, good-natured show that offers you relaxation and enjoyment. And you know, Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum offers you relaxation and enjoyment, too. It's pleasant to chew on a smooth piece of Wrigley's Spearmint whether you're working, shopping, listening to your radio, or doing just about anything. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum tastes good, it's refreshing, and the good easy chewing gives you comfort and satisfaction. So chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum often, every day. Millions enjoy it, and you will too. Now, Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum brings you Luigi as he writes another letter describing his adventures in America to his Mama Basco in Italy.
Dear Mamma, it's April the 1st of today in America, and they got a big saying. April showers bring me flowers. Well, with me, April 1st brings a gas, electric, and a telephone bills. Come on, Mommy, I wish you could see all the mail I'm got this morning. Besides the bill, I'm got a lot of advertisements, like one card that says, bring this to your grocer. He's going to give you 2 bars of soap for free if you give him 25 cents. Oh, yes, there's one more letter I got which was no belonging to me, and I'm open up by mistake. Was some letter from my countryman Pasquale, and is I had the $1 inside. As soon as I clean up my antique shop, I'm going to go into Pasquale's Spaghetti Palace and give him his letter.
I don't get it, Pasquale. See? What was the idea of shoving your own letter under this Basco's door?
Lefty, today is April Foolish Day, right?
Yeah?
Well, there you are. That's it. That little pupsqueak always likes to celebrate all the American holidays, so I'm going to let him celebrate April Foolish Day. I was so smart, I should have won me the Putzler Prize.
Okay. So, what do you want me to do?
Just to do like I told you, Lefty. Don't ask so many questions. This is going to be the easiest of $5 you made since the Prohibition.
No, that ain't...
Shh, quiet. Here comes the little greenhorn now. You better sit down on one of those tables and don't forget the signal.
Okay.
Hello, Pasquale.
Hello, little banana nose. Oh, you're looking beautiful in this morning, Luigi. Shoes all shined up, pants are nice and pressed, bow tie, face shining, and long curly hair just begging for a poodle haircut.
Well, Pasquale, I'm glad that you feel so good today. Here, I open up one of your letters by mistake.
What? Quick, hide the letter. Hurry up.
Huh? What's the matter, Pasquale? I did something wrong?
Worse than wronger. Open up for somebody else's mail is a terrible crime in America.
Huh?
Violation of the refrigerator law.
What's this refrigerator law?
Using the mails to defrost.
You're making a joke, huh, Pasquale?
No, Luigi. I'm just telling you should always remember. Break somebody's window, pick a fight with a cop, or rob a bank if you wanna, but never touch anybody else's mail. And you know why?
Why?
Because right away the FBI marks you AWOL.
AWOL? What's this mean?
Alien what opens the letters.
Yeah, but Pasquale, all I did was make a little mistake.
Little mistakes is no excuse to the law. It's a lucky thing you opened my letter, not a stranger's. Now, slip me the damage and nobody should have seen.
All right, here's the letter, Pasquale, just like I found it.
That's from Mr. Roberts, my steadiest customer. He says, dear Mr. Pasquale, enclose a fine of $50 of cash, which takes care of my spaghetti bill for March.
50? How, Pasquale, was only $1 inside.
What? Luigi, I wouldn't mind to defend you on a letter opener charge, but never stealing the money. In America, it's called arson.
Arson?
Yes, and over $25 worth is worse. That's called larceny.
Larceny?
Of course. Now, I couldn't testify against you if you was to be my daughter's husband.
Huh?
Well, take your pick, arson, a larceny, or a parson.
You're just trying to scare me. Nothing wrong is happening.
Nothing wrong is happening, huh?
No.
Okay. You hear me? Okay.
Oh, pardon me, Bud.
Huh? Who are you?
Well, I just happened to overhear the whole conversation, see? And I happen to be a postal office inspector, see?
Postal office inspector, see?
Don't mind him, Mr. Postal Office Inspector. By see, he means yes. I guess he didn't really believe you were a real officer.
Well, there it is, right on my driver's license. I'm afraid you're in trouble, Bud.
Trouble?
Well, what do you say now, Mr. Know-It-All? What kind of trouble is he in, Mr. Officer? And please, be good to him.
Well, we give him a choice. 5 years or 10 years.
5 or 10 years?
Well, Luigi, go ahead. You in the 5 and 10. Take your pick.
Come on, Mommy. I'm gonna go get advice. Goodbye.
Hey, come here. I gotta make a pinch.
Pinch yourself. I'm gonna go to school.
Goodbye, Alcatraz. Ooh, what an April Foolish joke. Lefty, you couldn't have acted it better if you was Ethel the Barrymore. Hey, here's you $5.
Hey, thanks, Pasquale. Hey, you got that character real scared. Weren't you supposed to tell him the whole thing was just an April Fool's joke?
That's the way it started out, Lefty, but who knows? Maybe that April Fool could turn my daughter into a June bride.
Quiet, please, class. Please. I'll call the roll. Mr. Basco?
Here.
Mr. Howard?
Here.
Mr. Olson? Mr. Schultz?
I accept the nomination. Thank you, fellow boobers. And remember my promise. A vote for Schultz in November is a vote for chaos in December.
Mr. Schultz, that will be enough clowning.
Ach, smile, Miss Spalding. It's spring. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. Lovers are humming. The whole world is in tune.
You may answer the first question, Mr. Toscanini.
Me and my big mouth.
We are studying state capitals today, class. And Mr. Schultz, you... Mr. Basco, what's the matter?
Well, Miss Spalding, today I'm opening up a Pasquale's letter by mistake. Was it supposed to be $50 in his side? I found only one. But Pasquale says the arson, a larson, or the person in the post office who wants to pinch me.
Ooh, Luigi, are you for shimmered?
Believe it or not, Schultz, I understood him. Look, Luigi, anybody can make a mistake once in a while and open up a wrong letter.
Jo, that's true, by Jiminy. Jo, my nephew once opened up a letter and they sent him away for 3 years.
Really? Where was the letter found?
His draft board. Oh, that was a gigantic joke, by Jiminy.
Very good, Olson. Listen to them. Olson and Horowitz. The United Nations, Martin and Lewis. Look, Luigi, I'm sure Pasquale won't make you no trouble. Just forget the whole thing.
I think so, too, Mr. Basco.
Yeah, but it's a $49 missing from my envelope. Miss Spalding, the inspectors are going to make him in trouble. I could tell it the way he's tried to grab him.
Luigi, be practical. Even if the post office inspector was there at the time and he did see everything, they can't do a thing to you unless Pasquale wants to prosecute.
Yeah, and for a measly $49, Pasquale wouldn't slap you in the clink, will he?
Sure, you think he would?
Without a doubt. Pasquale would kill himself if he could only figure out a way to come back and collect the insurance.
Then I'm in a big trouble.
Shame on you, Mr. Schultz, frightening him like that.
Ach, smile, Luigi. I was only trying to make it show.
Mr. Basco, the whole thing is just a misunderstanding. You talk to Mr. Pasquale after school, tell him the truth. You found only $1 in the letter.
Yeah, but I'm already told him this.
Look, Luigi, maybe it dropped out. Did you look all over the store?
Yeah, all over.
Then you should look again. Leave no stone unturned.
That's what they say on the rock pile. Smile, Luigi. Nothing is going to come from all this, believe me.
Well, sure, so while Inspector was there, Pasquale has looked at me very strict. Like he thought I was a lion. I'm afraid that maybe he's going to let him put me in jail.
Why, that's ridiculous, Mr. Basco. Look, if you're so worried, why don't you go downtown to the main post office, see the officials there, and explain the whole thing to them?
Me? Go to the post office?
Sure, Luigi. 10 million Americans do it every day to fill their fountain pens.
That's right. You got nothing to lose, Luigi.
To be sure. The truth usually has the way of shining through.
That's right, Luigi. Tell him you got the letter. You opened it up by mistake. There was $1 inside, and that's what you gave Pasquale.
But it sure so what if the inspector don't believe in me?
Well, then you get... Well... Ach, Luigi, stop worrying. We'll visit you in Alcatraz and cause the roll every Sunday.
Before we return to Life with Luigi, here's a suggestion that'll make your daily work a little easier and more enjoyable. Chew refreshing Wrigley Spearmint Gum while you work. You see, chewing on a good, smooth piece of Wrigley Spearmint Gum just naturally helps keep you feeling right. It helps relieve that feeling of tension and pressure, gives you comfort and satisfaction. Then, too, Wrigley's Spearmint Gum has a lively, long-lasting, real spearmint flavor that freshens your mouth and helps keep your throat moist. Yes, friends, that little stick of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum can be a real help to you while you're working. Try it and see for yourself. Chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum on the job and see how the pleasant chewing makes your work go smoother and easier. Now let's turn to page 2 of Luigi Basco's letter to his mother in Italy.
Well, Mamma mia, I'm now got the worst day of my life in front of me. But before I go down to town to the post office to beg them they should believe me, I'm going to go see Pasquale. Right now, through the window, I can see he's calling me somebody.
Rosa! Rosa! Rosa, come out of the kitchen.
You called me
Yes, my little Cupid doll. Tell me, Rosa, did Luigi talk to you yet today? Oh, what's the matter, Bambino?
Oh, Papa, you should tell Luigi it's an April Fool's joke. He feels terrible.
Sure. And when he feels terrible enough, he might decide to marry you. Rosa, this whole thing started as an April Foolish joke, but now the whole thing is bigger than the both of us. If that's possible.
Papa!
Quiet, here he comes now. Go back in the kitchen.
Yes, Papa. Pasquale, you gotta believe in me, Pasquale, you gotta.
Believe you about what, little cabbage bush?
Pasquale, you know I didn't take you $49.
Sure, Luigi, I know you didn't take the money. How could you? After all, I look at you like my own son.
Oh, thank you, Pasquale.
Now give me back the money and I drop the charges.
But Pasquale, you just said...
Never mind what I said. Just listen to me. As far as I'm concerned, I'd be willing to forget the whole thing. But that J. Edgar Hoover's cracking down on letter openers of this year.
Yeah, but Pasquale, I didn't...
Luigi, let me warn you. Don't say anything I might hold against you in a court.
Court? What the court?
Who knows? There's lots of courts. You're in the soup, so I guess they're going to take you to the Superior Court. After all, Luigi, that's a terrible charge they got against you. Housebreaking into a letter.
Pasquale, you don't believe in me. You don't believe in nothing.
Luigi, believe me, I think you innocent even though you're guilty. But in the eyes of the law, you are now what is called a habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus?
That's a half a corpse.
Mamma, Pasquale, please. Look, go down to town, talk to this fella, tell him how you was brought to me to America, and you don't think I'm took your money.
Now, is it too late, Luigi? Now you got a choice of 3 juries. There's the grand, that's for people who steal over $1,000. Then there's the blue ribbon jury, which tries mostly beer cases. And then, Luigi, they got the hung jury.
Hung jury?
Yes, they hang you first and they try you later.
No, Pasquale, now I know you're making a joke of him or the whole thing. You don't care what's happening to me.
No, don't say that, Luigi. I feel very sorry for you. If I was in your boots now, you know what I'd do? I would go down to Lake Michigan, hire one of those $50 an hour rowboats, and aim for Italy.
Goodbye. Goodbye, my good friend.
Oh, wait, Luigi. Come back. Where you going?
To the post office to beg you for my life.
Yes, sir. How many stamps, sir?
No, thanks. I want to talk to the boss. Is he in?
Well, you want the superintendent?
Huh? What am I going to do with a janitor?
The superintendent is in charge of this office, sir.
Oh, he's the biggest boss, huh?
Well, no. Above him, there's the 4th assistant postmaster, and his superior is the 3rd assistant postmaster. Then there's the 2nd assistant postmaster, and above him is the 1st assistant postmaster.
And he's the biggest, huh?
No. The top man is the Postmaster General.
Oh. When they get a too big army, is a draft of them, huh?
Sir, if you tell me what your problem is, I might be able to direct you.
Well, mister, is about a letter I'm open up by mistake.
Oh, do you have the letter?
No, I think maybe the inspector took it.
What inspector?
From the post office.
Well, do you know his name?
Sure, Mr. Lefty.
Lefty? I think you want to see the chief inspector, Mr. Simmons, sir. He's in room 214 upstairs.
Oh, thank you. And I'm going to buy 3 stamps, please.
Oh, good. What kind?
Any kind. I don't like it to come into your post office and to take up your time without giving you some little business. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Inspector. Can I come inside your office? I'm going to ask you something.
All right. What can I do for you, sir?
My name is Luigi Basco, and I'm coming to tell you about Pasquale's letter, which I'm opened up by mistake, but there wasn't no $49 in his side. Just a $1 bill with the Mr. Washington as a picture. Believe me, that was all that was in it.
Well, let's see if we can get some facts down. Your name, please?
Luigi Basco.
How do you spell that?
Luigi Basco, that's a big L and a big B. Everything else is a tiny with 2 dots on the top of I.
Luigi Basco, okay. Address?
At 21 in North Hollister Street.
Is that Chicago 1?
You mean there's a 2 Chicago?
I meant the zone number, Mr. Basco.
Oh, that's number 22.
Now then, Mr. Basco, calm down. Begin at the beginning and tell me the whole story.
Well, from the beginning, Pasquale's letter was coming to me by mistake, and I'm open up by mistake. And your inspector was there.
My inspector? What was his name?
Mr. Lefty.
His name isn't familiar. What do you look like?
He's wore a green pants, a checker coat, suede shoes, a big cigar. I think he's a work on a railroad sometimes.
On the railroad?
Yeah, in his hand there was a carry newspaper says tips at the track.
There's no such inspector working out of this office. Now, Mr. Basco, since the department has already taken steps in your case, I'm afraid my hands are tied.
Oh, then please, take the ropes up. Please help me. I'm an out-the-earth citizen, and I don't want to get into trouble with the government.
Mr. Basco, I can't do a thing for you.
And then maybe you're going to talk to Pasquale, huh? Tell him I didn't take the money. Tell him
Mr. Basco, you're just wasting time now.
Mr. Chief, I'm a promise you. If you help me, I'm going to help you back. I'm going to write to my mama 3 times a day, special delivery, air, mail. You're going to make so much money from me, you're going to retire in 1 year.
Mr. Basco, for the last time, there is nothing I can do for you. Now go home and wait till the department sends for you.
Yes, Mr. Chief. But don't worry. I'm still going to buy my stamps from you.
Hello, Luigi.
Hello, Rosa. What's the matter, Rosa? You got a toothache?
Papa told me you were going to hire a rowboat and row to Italy.
And you was worried about me, Rosa?
Yeah. It's $50 now, and I know you haven't got enough money for the whole trip.
Rosa, I'm in a terrible trouble.
No, Luigi, you're not.
Huh?
The whole thing's an April Fool's joke. Papa told me.
April Fool? You mean Pasquale's never had a $50 in that?
No. Papa slipped the letter under your door.
But that's an inspector.
That's Lefty from the pool room. Papa gave him $5 to be an inspector.
Mamma mia. Rosa, you don't know it, but you just gave me back America. Rosa, you never was look so good to me like you look right now. And Rosa, I'm going to kiss you. On your birthday. Hey, look, Rosa. Rosa, you want to help me play a little joke on you, Papa?
What kind of joke, Luigi?
April Fool joke, Rosa.
Well, All right, but please don't tell Papa I told you.
No, don't worry. First I'm going to see Chief Inspector, then I'm going to see some of my friends. Then it's going to start all of the fun.
Luigi!
What?
Are you really going to kiss me on my birthday?
When is your birthday, Rosa?
Next December.
You got it, my promise.
Pasquale, what happened? Why did you then fall?
Yeah, what's this about Luigi?
Did he really run away?
And a crazy kid. Read this suicide note he left to me after he died.
Let me see that, Pasquale. Dear Pasquale, you was right. I got it no choice, so I'm going to hire a rowboat and row to Italy. Jemini, he is a brave man. Yes, I hope the tide is with him. Here, Pasquale, you finish the letter. I ain't got the heart to.
All right. Friends, don't be too hard with Pasquale. He thinks I really stole his $49. Oh, listen, you stupid letter. I don't think. The whole thing is just April Fool, a joke.
What? Pasquale, you have a very stupid, cruel sense of humor. That's right. You sent Luigi 5,000 miles in a rowboat. And that's carrying a joke too far.
Who figured it would take the whole thing so serious? I only... Just a plain little April Fool's joke.
Schultz, what else did he write? He wrote a P.S.
That's a standard for Pasquale.
P.S. Everything I got in the world, I leave to the best friend I ever had. Pasquale.
Don't, Schultz. That's enough.
Read on, Schultz, please, read on. Sure. Read more. Wait, I gotta wring out my handkerchief.
Schultz, what's going to happen with Luigi?
Pasquale, what has got to be is got to be. What? You know, we got the thing in the delicatessen business. If you were born to be a salami, you'll never wind up in the army.
Very funny, Schultz, very funny.
Oh, you were on with the genius, with the yoke, Schultz.
Oh, stop with that, you crazy maroons, you. How can you stand there and laugh when Luigi might be floating right now on the bottom of the ocean?
Stop carrying on so much, Pasquale. It ain't as if Luigi was the last fella in the world for Rosa.
That's the trouble, he was. I gotta call up with the police department, the fire department.
Pasquale, come here.
Let me go. All right. Which one of you is Pasquale? Huh? Who's this? Lefty, what do you do with this fella?
Jig is up, Pasquale.
I'm Chief Inspector Simmons, United States Post Office, and your Confederate Lefty here has already confessed and incriminated you.
He's not incriminating me. I didn't do nothing.
Mr. Pasquale, it's a criminal offense to use the mails as a medium for practical jokes.
That's a lie. I never slipped that letter under Luigi's door, and I got 12 witnesses who didn't see me do it.
It's too bad Luigi ain't here to testify against you, Pasquale. But I am alive. What? In my own way.
Who said that?
Who said what, Pasquale?
Give up, Pasquale. Tell them how you was killed me.
He's here.
Oh, Pasquale. Yeah, Pasquale. He didn't hear nobody.
Luigi. That's the matter. You all deaf, don't you hear him? Mr. Inspector, you heard him.
Mr. Pasquale, it's just your conscience.
My conscience. No, it can't be.
Yes, it can be.
What? Well, who's it after?
Hello from Hollywood to all of you. This is the Well of Parsons, my first exclusive. Mr. Pasquale killed Mr. Luigi Basco. Shame on him.
Luella Parsons. If she's a no, everybody's a no. All right, take him away, Inspector. I killed him. Take him away.
April Fool, Pasquale.
Luigi! You was in the closet all the time.
Sure, and I was a-talking in this empty milk bottle like this, you see? Confesso, Pasquale, confesso.
I knew it all the time, Luigi. You never fooled me once. Say, where's the Luella Parsons?
Where's Luella Parsons?
Yeah.
I'm a no.
Wasn't she in the closet with you?
No.
What do you know? He fainted. All right, Luigi. Now, you can tell me. Where is Miss Parsons?
For the shucks, I'm a no. I'm a no even to hear her voice. Now, Schultz is offended.
In just a minute, we'll explain the mystery of Luella Parsons' voice. Friends, the makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of Life with Luigi. And they want to remind you that you'll find Wrigley's Spearmint Gum a friendly, helpful companion to take with you wherever you go. At work, in your car, out shopping, no matter where you happen to be, you can slip a stick of refreshing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum in your mouth and enjoy some mighty good chewing. Wrigley's Spearmint freshens your taste, sweetens your breath, and the chewing action helps keep your teeth clean and bright. So chew a stick of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum from time to time every day. Enjoy that delicious Wrigley Spearmint flavor and enjoy the good, smooth chewing. Get a few packages of Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum and carry a package or two with you wherever you go. The makers of Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to be sure to listen next week at this time when Luigi Basco writes another letter to his Mama Basco in Italy. Life with Luigi is a Cy Howard production. Pat Burton is associate producer. The script is written by Mac Benoff and Lou Derman and directed by Mr. Benoff. J. Carrol Naish is starred as Luigi Basco and Alan Reed as Pasquale, Hans Conried as Jody Gilbert as Rosa, Mary Shipp as Miss Spaulding, Joe Forte as Horowitz, and Ken Peters as Olson. The music is under the direction of Lud Gluskin. Friends, now we can clear up the mystery of Miss Luella Parsons' voice. It came from CBS Radio. In fact, right from Luigi's closet, and we wish to thank her for her appearance in our program tonight. Luella's new program of outstanding Hollywood news starts tonight on CBS Radio, immediately after this program. We hope you'll all stay tuned for the Luella Parsons program. This is Charles Lyon. This is the CBS Radio Network.
Oh, you gotta love it. CBS using a show to promote another show. Life with Luigi. Going back 73 years, April 1st, 1952, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We mentioned tomorrow we've got Fibber McGee and Molly, Greg Gildersleeve, Charlie McCarthy, George and Gracie, and Lum and Abner. That's coming up on our next program on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll have the Screen Directors Playhouse production of Ghost Breakers, starring Bob Hope. Also, The Joan Davis Show, Gunsmoke, Have Gun Will Travel. And then on Friday, we'll have Richard Diamond, Private Detective, Murder at Midnight, The Mysterious Traveler, and a show called I Want a Divorce. And then we'll have a mixed bag with Suspense. Jack Benny starring in his first suspense appearance, Murder in G-Flat, You Bet Your Life starring Groucho Marx, Fibber McGee and Molly, and an episode of Beyond Tomorrow. That's all coming up here in the next few days of Classic Radio Theater. But next, we will hear from Mr. Benny.
Two weeks, 14 days, 326 hours. Every second that your family could be exposed to radiation after a nuclear attack. Radiation that kills.
To survive, a fallout shelter is a necessity. Equipment and supplies are essential.
Now, Survival Shelters, one of the nation's leading manufacturers of fallout shelters, offers a basic equipment kit with
a Conrad high-powered radio, transistor operated for long battery life,
a complete, fully stocked first aid kit,
a heavy-duty fire extinguisher, emergency water containers, a chemical toilet for protection against contamination and disease,
extra strength saran and rayon bunks,
a radiation meter, and individual dosimeters.
For protection every second of each hour of every day. See a Survival Shelter now.
We often don't go back to the early days of Jack Benny, but it seems appropriate that on this April Fool's Day, we bring you an April Fool's Day program of Jack Benny when it was the Chevrolet Show. And this is going back 91 years. April 1st, 1934. I'm going to warn you, this isn't the most pristine audio you'll hear from a Jack Benny program or any of our shows, but I think it's worthwhile to hear some early Jack Benny. So let's go back 91 years for Jack Benny on April Fool's Day, 1934.
Jack Benny with Frank Black and his orchestra. The orchestra opens the program with Where's That Rainbow from Peggy Ann. And now for that man of mirth, humor, jokes, Rochester, Buffalo, Cleveland, and all points west, Mr. Jack Benny on track 5.
Thank you. Hello again. That was Aloys Havrilla, folks, who has me mixed up with the 20th century. I don't know, we're all goofy up here. You know, he's supposed to introduce me as Jack Benny, that big-hearted gentleman, but I guess he forgot his lines, you know.
I know what I'm doing.
Well, anyway, we got a scoop for you tonight. Real hot news. Let us be the first program to announce that today is Easter Sunday. Yes, sir.
Jack, how do you find out these things?
Oh, by just keeping my eyes open, Aloys. You know, always on my toes. And I want to tell you it was a pleasure today to see the ladies walking down Fifth Avenue in their new Easter clothes. Of course, they ruin the few bucks we try to save since Christmas, you know.
I'll say.
But after all, it's Easter, and the women do need new outfits. You know, first a green dress, then a green hat to match.
Oh, sure.
Sure, then they have to get a green shoes to match the hat.
Oh,
you know.
of course. Yeah.
Then a green bag to go with the shoes. Then they ask you for something green to put in the bag. You know, those legal blotters that the government keeps printing, you know. And then you married and then have to start saving again. I'll tell you, fellas, the only way to hang on to your dough is to marry a Scotch nudist.
Jack, what are you talking about?
I don't know, Avrilla. There's a microphone here. I thought I'd use it, you know. However, as I was saying, it is nice to see people out in their new spring finery. New hats, new dresses, new suits.
And it is nice to see the new Chevrolet with its shining hood. It's beautiful to
I'll grant you that, Aloys. I'll grant you. After all, that's what we're here for, yes.
Hello, gentlemen. Happy Easter. How do you like my new coat?
Very nice, Mary. But say, why a raccoon coat? This is Easter.
I know, but they're so cheap this time of the year.
Oh.
You know, I'm getting 10% off.
Off what?
I don't know. Wait till you get the bill.
I see. Where were you all day?
Well, I was up in Harlem trying to get some colored eggs.
In Harlem? Why, Mary, you have to buy plain eggs and color them yourself. Of course, there are all kinds of eggs. You know, there's a chicken egg, there's a duck egg, and there's
Jack Benny.
Hello, Frank.
Happy Easter, Jack.
Happy Easter to you, Frank.
Yippee.
That was Yippee by Frank Black, which is equivalent to our Hi-de-ho, you know?
Yay, man.
Hey, Frank, you're raring tonight, really. What makes you so hot?
I've got on red flannel underwear.
Oh, so that's where the heat's coming from. I thought it was the radiator, you know?
I think it's a shame for Frank to come up here in his flannel underwear.
But Mary's wearing a full-dress suit over it, yeah?
Oh, I thought that was his underwear.
Mary, quiet. He can hear you, you know.
It certainly is a pleasure to be on the same program with you two.
Thanks, Frank.
I always wanted to go slumming.
Yeah, remember, folks, he's just a musician, that's all, you know.
Well, let me ask you something. What do you do that's so good?
Well,
I thought so.
You leave Jack alone. He has more talent in his little finger than you'll ever have.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I, but that's what he told me.
Atta girl, Mary.
Shut up.
Hello, everybody. Do you need me?
People just arrived. What's your name again?
Singing Frank the Chevrolet Man.
Oh, yeah. I thought I recognized you.
Yeah, I'm the fellow who paid the check last night.
Oh, sure. Hello, sucker. Say, Parker, I saw you on Fifth Avenue today. Who was that beautiful girl you were walking down the street with?
That was no girl. That was my cane.
I thought she was rather thin, yes.
No. Well, what were you talking about when I came in?
Well, nothing much. We were just talking about Easter clothes and so forth.
Oh, that reminds me, Jack. I wrote a poem about Easter.
Mary, will you stop writing those poems? That's the only trouble with this program.
Well, just listen to this one.
All right.
Easter comes but once a year, even as you and I. A rag of
Play,
home,
Frank,
a hunk
play.
of hair. So the man worthwhile is the one who can smile on a happy Easter day. Hey, hey.
That was Frank Black and his orchestra by Mary Livingston.
That's the last poem I'll ever write.
There goes the telephone.
I'll take it, Jack.
Okay, Mary.
Hello? Yes?
Who's it for, Mary?
It's a rush call. They want to know if Mr. Onion from Bermuda's here tonight.
Why, Mary, this is April Fool's Day.
Oh, yeah? I'll answer no more phones today.
Don't get sore, Mary. It's just a gag. Come here, Mary. We'll pull it on Frank Black. Because we'll have him call up a number and play a joke on him, see?
Well, doesn't he know it's April 1st?
He doesn't even know what year this is. Now, here's what we do. You go over and ask Black to call up Whitehall 41560 and ask for Mr. Mackerel. See?
Well, what's funny about that?
Mary, Whitehall 41560 is the aquarium.
That doesn't strike me funny.
Mary, don't you know what an aquarium is?
Sure, a person who rides horses.
That's an equestrian.
Oh, yeah? Oh, now I get it. Oh, yeah, I get it now. Oh, Frank.
Yes, Mary.
Will you do me a favor and call up Whitehall 41560 and ask for Mr. Mackerel? I'd like to talk to him.
All right, Mary.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you know what day this is?
Sure, it's Sunday.
Anything else?
No, just Easter Sunday.
Jack, he doesn't know it's April 1st.
That's because he doesn't pay his rent on time, you know.
Go ahead, Frank. Get me that number. Oh, boy.
Hello, operator. Operator. Get me Whitehall 41560.
So fun.
Hello? Hello, I want to speak to Mr. Mackerel.
What a jerk.
Hello, is this you, Mac? How are you, Mac?
Must be something wrong here someplace.
I'm glad to hear it. How's Mrs. Mackerel? Come on, answer me. Don't flounder around. Oh.
Well, what do I do now, Jack?
Forget the whole thing. He knows every fish in town, I think.
Yes, Mac. My orchestra's pretty well filled up, but I could use another bass and a flute.
Maybe you'd use another pickerel player.
Wait a minute, Mac. Wait a minute. Mary Livingston wants to talk to you. Here you are, Mary.
Well, the whole thing sounds fishy to me. Hello? Say, there's nobody on this wire.
April Fool.
It's all your fault, Jack.
Oh, well, it's all in fun, Mary. You know, don't get sore. It's a double cross, you know. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't mean it that way, but that's the way it turned out. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction of this program. Tonight, we are going to offer that great and oft-repeated eternal triangle where two men are in love with one woman. You know those plays where a woman likes a fellow, but her husband is an awful pest and hangs around the house too much. This play of ours is really a blackout. And to you people who are not familiar with the language of the theater, a blackout is a scene in which the lights go out on the finishing punchline. So when you see the lights go out in this studio, the scene will be finished. Or you can put the lights out in your own home. Or if you happen to be sitting in the bathtub, just turn off the water. This blackout will be played immediately after Frank Parker's song, which is entitled The House is Haunted, from the New Follies. Answer that, Mary.
Okay. April Fool, you big palooka. Well, he didn't fool me that time.
And you are not fooled when you buy the 1934 Chevrolet.
None of us were fooled. We knew that was coming, huh? Oh, Mary, who was that on the phone?
Your father.
Sing, Parker, sing. That That was Frank Parker singing The House is Haunted. And now for our blackout, The Eternal Triangle, played by the husband, Lionel Havrilla, the wife, Kathleen Livingsburn, and the lover, Clark Denny. Curtain. Music.
Gee, darling, you always have to go to Boston on business. What kind of a guy are you anyway?
I don't have to go to Boston, dear. Who said anything about Boston?
Oh, yeah? Well, you're going to Boston. It's 10:20 now, and if you hurry, you'll catch the 12 o'clock train.
But what am I going to do in Boston? I have no reason to go there.
For my sake, will you please go to Boston? I'll pack your bag. Here are 3 shirts, 2 pairs of socks, your toothbrush. And look, I bought you a straight razor so you won't cut yourself. All ready, darling.
Now, listen, dear. I'm going to bed.
You're going to Boston.
But I have no business in Boston. Besides, I don't know a soul there.
Well, you'll meet somebody. Goodbye, Lionel.
All right, then. Goodbye. If I must go to Boston, I must.
Hurry, or you'll miss that 12 o'clock train. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.
I'm going to miss my man. I'm going to miss my man. Oh, Fifi. Dis, madame. Peel me an egg. Okay. Boy, it's lonely without my Lionel. I'm going to miss my man. I'm going to miss my man. Come in.
Hello, darling. Has he gone?
Yes, the big brute. He went to Boston, I hope. And he left me all alone. What did you bring me, sweetheart?
Some flowers here.
Flowers? That's all you ever bring me.
But they're beautiful, dearest. Roses. Don't they smell wonderful?
Oh, I'd sooner have a diamond ring and it don't have to smell so good.
Why speak of diamonds when the situation calls for love?
Oh, Fifi. Oui, madame, but it's asleep.
Are you a French maid?
Oh, yeah, sure. I come from Paris. You see, she's been working for Jack Pearl.
Oh, I see.
Oh, Fifi, 2 for 2. And it don't have to be tea.
Yes, Fifi. I'll take a ham sandwich, and it don't have to be cheese.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but we have no tea or ham. Well, what have you got in the kitchen? Just the ice, man.
Well, bring in some cracked ice.
Yes, sir. Sure enough.
She must have worked for Amos and Andy, too. Tell me, darling, do you love me?
You know I do.
And how about a little kiss?
Okay, and it don't have to be little.
Who's that?
I don't know, but if it isn't my husband, it'll spoil the play.
Gee, but you're beautiful. You know you're getting prettier every day.
Oh, that's just because you love me, sweetheart.
Are you sure that's your husband?
Of course it is. He always misses the train to Boston.
But supposing it isn't your husband?
And then you better take the train.
That was cute, you little pudgy-wudgy you.
Oh, my ducky-wucky.
She's getting a bit annoying, dear.
Well, maybe you better hide, sweet.
In the same closet?
Yes.
I'm tired of that same old closet. I always come out smelling of mothballs.
All right. Keep your shirt on.
I've got it on. Open the door.
Oh, he makes me sick. How about a rubber bridge?
Oh, not now. I think you better hide. Hide behind that radio.
That's it. I'll hide behind the radio.
Come in, darling.
Well, dear, I missed my train.
Oh, I'm so glad, sweetheart. I was terribly lonesome.
You were, eh? Well, I heard someone talking in this room.
Here's the cracked ice, man. Thanks, you're fired.
Oh, I knew I heard someone talking in this room.
Well, it was the radio. I was listening to the Chevrolet program.
I like that program, too. Put it on again.
Oh, never mind, dear. Now that you're here, I'd rather talk to you.
I want to hear that Chevrolet program. Tune it in.
Oh, all right. There it is.
Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. Remember the fellow with the witty jokes and funny plays?
He talked so nice and clear, you'd think he was right here in this room.
Yes, I would think that.
And the sketch we have tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is called East Lynn, which comes to you through the courtesy of
Chevrolet.
Yes, Chevrolet. The most dependable car in the low-price field.
Isn't he swell? I must write to Jack Benny and tell him how much we like him.
That's a good idea.
And when you write, send him his hat and gloves. He lets them here on the table.
Blackout, folks.
Play, Frank, play. That was You've Got Everything, played by Frank Black. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as this is the last program in our Chevrolet series, I want to say it has been a real pleasure being associated with Chevrolet and the members of this company. And Frank.
Yes, Jack.
I want to tell you how much I've enjoyed working with you and the boys.
Well, thanks, Jack. I feel the same way. And this being the last of our broadcasts together, I was just wondering if, could you let me have those $10 I loaned you when the series first started?
What 10, Frank?
I forget what kind of a 10 it was, but nevertheless you borrowed it from me.
When, Frank? When?
When we first started. Of course, I hate to ask you for it, but after all, it isn't a war debt.
Well, I don't remember the incident, Frank, but if you say I owe it to you, why, here it is. I mean, what's $10 in my life?
Thanks. I hope this won't interfere with your health.
Well, no, it won't. Well, so long, Frank.
Good luck to you, Jack.
Thanks. There's one $10 bill going out of circulation.
Say, Black. Yes, Aloys. I want to tell you that it's been a real pleasure working with you all these months. The pleasure was all mine, Aloys, and I wish you the best of luck. Oh, thanks, Frank. But this being the last of this Chevrolet series, and not knowing where you live, I thought we'd straighten things out a little bit. What's on your mind, Aloys? Remember that day you borrowed 10 from me to buy some music or something? I don't remember borrowing a $10 bill from you.
Probably was 2.5.
But if you say I owe it to you, Aloys, here you are. Well, thanks, Frank. I knew you'd remember it. If you hadn't brought it up yourself, I'd never mentioned it. I still don't remember it.
Funny how he remembers mine.
Aloys. Yes, Parker? This being our last broadcast together, I just thought that maybe... Here, Parker, and thanks for the loan.
Rat.
Well, there really was no hurry.
No, you should have seen him snatch it, folks.
Oh, Parker.
Yes, Mary?
You know, this is the end of the series.
Looks like the end of that 10-2, Parker.
See how the weeks have flown by. Remember, Parker, when we went out to dinner one evening and you were a little bit short and you asked me if,
Sure, Mary, here you are.
Oh, well, after all, there was no hurry, you know. We're both young.
Well, that's all right. It's all right. I'm glad it's off my mind.
Oh, Mary. Mary.
Yes, Jack, I remember. I just knew I couldn't keep this $10 bill long.
But, Mary.
Here it is, and keep still.
Well, I guess we're all straightened out. Our last program. Is everybody satisfied?
I don't know. I still think I'm out $10.
Yippee!
You said it.
Well, folks, I guess we're all square now.
Wait a minute. You may be square in the studio, but how about me? What's the matter with me?
Wait a minute. What's this? What do you mean, what's it? Who are you?
Eddie Cantor.
Why, Eddie, listen, I'm glad you came up. I have your 10 right here waiting for you.
It's about time. Now, listen, Jack, what about that necktie? You know I just loaned you that for the Sunday night draw.
Well, Eddie, listen, I can give you back your tie here.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What about that suit you're wearing?
Well, I thought you gave me that suit.
Why should I give you a suit that Jimmy Wallington can wear? You know what I mean.
Well, listen, I'm not going to take off this suit right in this studio.
Well, that's all right. You can give it to me later. And listen, Jack, confidential.
Yeah.
Tell Mary that Ida wants that dress back, will you?
All right. Is there anything else, Eddie?
No. Play, Frank.
Fine neighbors. Yeah. Fine neighbors we have.
Oh, my goodness, and that's Jack Benny. Going back 91 years to the last episode of the Chevy program, April 1st, 1934, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. A lot of the old jokes that they started with, that's where they were. Coming up tomorrow on the program, we will have Fibber and Molly, the Great Gildersleeve, Charlie McCarthy, George and Gracie, and Lum and Abner. Join us at classicradio.stream and on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow. Facebook and X. I'm sorry, I get ragged about not saying X. So yes, join us on X. You can get those links at classicradio.stream. And we'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.